Heyo, and welcome to a special Saturday afternoon two-stream Tuesday. No, it's Saturday. Two-stream Saturday, streaming to Saturday. I have Batterdays in the back cave tonight, but I bring you BunkMasta B, his triumphant return. What up, bitch?
What's going on, man?
How
Happy to
you
be
doing?
back. Good. I was just experiencing a little technical difficulties where my computer couldn't load email. So that was fun. And then my daughter has a stomach ache, so that threw everything going off. So
Oh,
just living
Johnny
the life
Rotten
of a parent.
sick?
No, she's fine. But,
Did you have too much cotton candy at the circus last night, or?
I think she was yelling too hard at the Queen and telling everyone who'd listen that it was a fascist regime.
Good pull. After this, I need to listen to my Descendants album because I meant to prep myself for this interview or this show by, of course, listening to the classic album that you named your son for. So I will do that afterwards because I have a weirdly weird headache. I'm totally fine, but I think last night my body was astral traveling and the spirit landed crooked in me because I just feel sort of gonked. So I'm just not 100%, but I've got way plenty of energy. Oh, what? Of time to do this. Oh, look. Wow, Rising Phoenix, thank you. OmniDog rules. Terry's here. What up, Terry? Cycle. I'm sorry. We might still be on by 3. I don't know.
What you seeing, Cycle? I mean, he's probably gone by right now, but
well, I'm sure he'll be watching this chat throughout the movie.
Probably some kind of like indie art house film that no one's ever heard of, and it was shot on like an old tin
iPhone.
can.
Oh,
no, like it like an old box camera that they then like put all together, and it was like took 27 years to make.
Now I know Next Imagina likes those. He's Next Imagina is definitely an indie film checker outer. I haven't picked up on Cycle Cleveland's movie tastes.
I just figured given the comics.
Maybe it's Goiter Live, Goiter the movie, something like that.
That makes sense.
Aria's here. What up, buddy? Rick Ray's here, and I responded to this in the chat, but dude, we're just previewing what our top books are. We're not, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to do a top 10 at the end of December, and by that I mean probably February. But this is just a handful of books that stood out to us this year.
It's just getting the brain warmed up for when we do the real list, kind of that first excuse to go back through the reading list and being like, oh yeah, that came out this year.
Yeah. And if it wasn't for Goodreads, thank goodness. I think Kristen's the one that got me onto Goodreads because I used to keep track, on papyrus with a charcoal. And then Kristen said, it's easier if you just put it on Goodreads. Of course, that maybe it was the minister that told me that. Either one of those guys, I give them both credit. Oh, you're being called Buck Mazing. Speaking of Buck Mazing, the thumbnail was made by the amazing James. I had 2 to choose from, but this was the most metal one. And then Patty put in my art director put in the lettering. But James, that was a work of art. The other one I was going to choose from, I feel like the faces should be switched. It's an ice cream man one, and you're much taller than I am, but okay. I don't want to give James too much to do. But yeah, no, leave the ice cream man alone and just make like 25 new ones of me and Bunk because this is going to be a series. I want Bunk to be on forever.
My family will never see me again. I'm just going to be streaming here this whole time with new steady thumbnails going in. And honestly, I'm here for it.
Yeah. What up, Literature and Pictures? Nice to see you here.
What's going on, man?
Marcelo from Mexico, good to see you. Always good to
Saludos.
see you. Dr. Elevator, good friend of the show. My buddy Mallory from Michigan. So good to see you, Jess. Hope you're feeling better. Thanks for doing this with us and for us, my friend. Peace and love, Mallory. I am feeling okay. And this always takes my mind off it. Here's Marianne, a friend of the show. Oh, it was OmniCat. Kristen is always right. Okay, yeah, let's remind everybody about that.
I
Here
think
it is.
normal watchers of the show know that no, that's the case.
Yeah, we never doubt her. You have 11. Okay, you don't. I'm sure I can find more bunk thumbs.
Here's two of them.
Yep, there they are. So yeah, you don't have to make more. But go ahead. You know what I probably need is the minister likes to do our own thumbnails, but you could do some minister thumbs if you want, James. I don't know how you'll get how did you get Bunk's picture? Did you capture it off of a video?
I think he grabbed just a still of me, either from a video or like one of the thumbnails I put up. And I'm very bad at making thumbnails, so I basically just like take a still where like it's like, here's my face, here's the book we're talking about, here's the title, ship it.
Yeah, I do the overview shots, but everything else, I have the art director of upper level management. I have her do that. She's way better at thumbnails than I am. Prater 7. What's your avatar? What is that?
It looks very 90s, whatever it is.
Is there a head there?
Yeah, there's a head. There's like a foot that's kicking. So there's the bottom of the boot. Got like a real muscular quad. I don't recognize the character. They look a little watery.
I'm not picking out what. I'm not picking out the. Wait, maybe I can make this bigger.
When I hear Praetor, I think of the Phyrexian Praetors from Magic the Gathering, and that is not that. So I'm not
so nerdy. My avatar is Rascal by Dan Fraga.
Not familiar.
Me either. It's from his book Black Flag.
I know Black Flag the band.
Yeah.
But that was by Henry Rollins, so a little different.
And I prefer the Dez years, but I also listen to the Rollins years. Aspirin's the only thing I haven't tried yet. Maybe I'll have upper management bring me down some aspirin.
Or maybe previewing your top books of the year is what does it. Maybe that's the holistic cure we all needed.
What up, True Graphic novel fan? Good to see you.
What's up, True Graphic?
Always good to see True Graphic. You're actually suggesting that we get into the topic, which is
actually, I was going to say we might want to push that back a little bit because I think Omar is still going. So it's probably going to be a little while before we get like the normal 1 o'clock shift over, because Omar's giving away comics for free and there's still 762 people watching him right now. So no, I mean, first off, I would never ever try and suggest that we start a topic on an OmniDog show like before the 30-minute mark. That's blasphemy. But especially
better.
today. Yeah, come on now.
Yeah,
on,
you know better. He's got an Indiegogo going for a new Black Flag book for anyone curious. Okay. You know what? I am gonna ask for aspirin. That's a good idea.
You're right. The real fans are here, or just have 2 tabs open. That's fine too.
Like just apparently my guest does.
Oh no, I was gonna say I just have a phone that I just put up.
Somebody go super chat him 99 cents and say get off the air. Where's Bar? Bar will do that. Is Bar in that chat? Damn it!
Yeah, Bar is absolutely there. It's free comic shipped to Israel. You think she's missing that?
I send her comics. Freaking. Then listen to some Coldplay after. Well, I have Descendants up on the list. Who's I Who was
Tried
I
to listen to Milo Goes to College with Milo in the car, and I was like, "Oh, I forgot how not appropriate this is for a 2-year-old who's, like, just starting to, like, take on." And actually, when I saw them last year come in, there were a few songs they either didn't perform or they changed some of the language on, because turns out what you can say in the 80s isn't quite what you can say anymore, and not even just
Oh,
what you can say, but what they would want to say, especially with Milo being like, or with them being a little bit more progressive and like trying to be inclusive for things. So there's definitely a few where I was like, oh, they said that on there?
yeah. I was going through my 45s before I sold a bunch of them, and there's one song that was funny in the 80s just because of how outrageous it was. I can't remember the band name, but it was I don't even, maybe I shouldn't even say it. It was, yeah, no. It was funny in the 80s and is in, God, the 80s. No, was 1983 50 years ago? No, it wasn't. Wait,
It was
43
40
years
years
ago.
ago.
Okay, thank you. This is why I'm bad in math. F word in the family. The a homosexual slur. It was called F word in the family, and I had a friend that was not into punk rock, and I played it for him, and he said that's the most offensive, greatest song I've ever heard, because it was punk rock and it was really catchy, and I'm like, yeah, what's going on here? And of course now you can't. Uh right. Is that from me? Yeah, it's not appropriate at all. Um, and wait, does Milo Goes to College have the song where they where it's the drive-in? It's the 50-second drive-in where he's ordering a cheeseburger.
You're talking about Welcome to the Venus Schnitzel.
Yeah.
What can I get? Yeah, I'll have two large fries, two large. That's on the EP that came afterwards that gets packaged together a lot, bonus fat.
Oh, bonus
So
fat. That's what it's on. Yeah, I've
yeah,
got that.
yeah, a
Um,
lot of the re-releases afterwards just kind of pushed them together and just like made it like one complete thing where it was just Milo Goes to College, and then you go right to the EP.
yeah, because I remember the tagline afterwards. You want Bill S on that? Do you remember that?
I still think
Oh,
it's Blue.
okay.
I don't think it's I know that Bill is the drummer, but I think I looked at the liner notes at one point because, they kinda just, like, yell it out, like, all of that. I always thought it was Blue. But, of course,
Blue. He
maybe
says,
Bill
"Do
is
you want Bill
volunteering.
sperm?" He says, "You
I
want
thought it
Bill
was
sperm on
Blue.
that?"
I thought it was Blue, and then, "No!" And then it goes to the next song. I always thought it was Blue.
Ah, okay.
Like, because it's
Well,
all, like, fast food and it's, like, chemically and it'll, like, change everything about you was, like, my thought as opposed to, like, Bill the drummer is just, like, hanging out in back and is like, "I can put this on it if you want."
I prefer my version because that
Hey.
I only found out about it. This was in the early days of Justice Punk Rock, because it was an article in a magazine and said this is the most perfect song I've heard this year, and he said that it was Bill Sperm. So that's what I would just was expecting.
Live your life, man. Like, you know what? If I find out I'm wrong, like, I'm still that's not gonna stop the way I think about it. Like, I'm not gonna
No.
fundamentally change that. Like, it will always be Blue to me, and it can
Okay.
always be Bill to you, and that's cool, man. We
That's
can have our
right.
own versions of the song.
That's
Like, if you
right.
wanna go out and listen to "Excuse Me While I Kiss This Guy," like,
I
that's cool, man.
I all that was one of my most embarrassing moments in college when we were listening to that, and I said, why does he want to kiss this guy? And everybody looked at me and said, are you stupid or what? He's saying kiss the sky. And I'm like, oh, kiss the sky. That makes sense. But he's on
But
LSD. So,
also, maybe that guy is, like, super cute and charming, and, like,
and Jimmy
you
just
know
liked him.
yeah, he was like, "You know what? Hey, I know we're doing this thing, but could you excuse me one mo I gotta give him a kiss. Just
You
like a
gotta,
quick one, and then, like,
I
we'll
just
get
gotta
back to
kiss this
this."
guy. And this is no
Yeah,
worries.
that's,
Here's Farhan from Malaysia. What's up? Good to
Hey!
see Farhan all the time.
Peace and love, Farham. What's going on, buddy? Long time no see.
Yeah. I'm not going to say it.
But
uh,
since you mentioned it, that word that begins with F that you mentioned also appears on Milo Goes to College, and,
oh, that's
yeah,
right.
it's definitely, I'm pretty sure they played They played that when I saw them, and I think that they replaced the word. And again, like I'm sure that they were self-censoring like not long after that because like that's the kind of band they were. It wasn't like public pressure, but still exists.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all when a band chooses to do that. I mean,
Yeah,
it's their song, and
right.
yeah. Uh, yeah, I mean, we had this discussion on Thursday night on the Evergreen show on Very Fine Condition, who apparently has all my viewers right now because he's giving away free bugs, about some of the language in Runaways by Brian K. Vaughan, and how I think Curtis was suggesting that if it did get evergreen, that maybe some of the words could be changed to make it a little more family friendly because he wanted it to get out to a wider audience. And I think that's a whole separate show of what we would want to say. I mean, it's a whole separate show of.
Uh,
We ended up talking about it in there, about self-censoring or having somebody suggest that maybe some of the language was dated. I think it uses the R word. I don't think
okay.
it uses the F. It may. I haven't read it in so
Yeah,
long. I don't
I'm
remember.
pretty sure because that was like early 2000s, mid 2000s.
Yeah,
By that point,
early
the F
2000s.
word was like out. R word I could see because like the original printings of not, FF by Hickman. There's a part where Valeria says "Happy Birthday" R word like in an endearing way to her brother, but
Right.
in updated printings, I think they replace it with something like doofus. And it's
Doofus.
like,
Yeah.
you don't lose any of the sort of intent in that. You still get like, because the intent is always like, it was. Did I disappear? Am I still here?
Your
No.
your
Okay.
uh your sound
Um,
is kind of
so,
choppy.
oh, all right. Uh,
It's okay right now, but yeah,
Is it like coming through low?
no, it's stuttering a little bit.
Okay.
Now
Yeah,
now
let me
it's
know,
fine.
let me know if okay. All right, perfect.
Okay, yeah, just did it
I'll
again.
tell you I'll tell you
Do
what
you want
like
to?
my big sorry.
Yeah, your voice is cutting in and out.
All right, let me jump off and like jump back
Okay.
in and see if that does anything.
Okay.
All right. All right. Later,
He'll be
y'all.
back, ladies and gentlemen. He'll be back. What up, Marvel Bab? Good to see. Always good to see you. Speaking of bands from Farhand, Coldplay is going to play here live on 22. Oh, you guys do the 22nd of November, and I'm going to be there. Free media pass. Nicely done. Very nice. I was trying to think. Oh, you know who I love Coldplay, but who I really love is Radiohead. I think they're too big for me to go see live. Um, because I probably have to pay $1,000 the way things are going for a seat, and I can't stand up. But I couldn't be in a mosh pit or anything. But I think Radiohead is my Coldplay. I love Radiohead. Elon is here. Oh, thank you. I just got it done yesterday. There was a lot of white hair on the floor. Ugh, I was not happy about it. He was roboting. Okay, yeah. When he signs back in, I'll put him up. Ah, good. That's good to hear. Yeah, they have so many good songs. So many. Wildly talented. So let's see. Did I miss anybody? Okay, no. See, somebody was saying something about Conan. Oh, Prater was. One of my top books of this year is the new Conan the Barbarian book. Hasn't been released in trade yet, though. So that's coming from Titan. It's who's writing it? Oh, I'm also really digging the new Jim Zub Conan book. So Jim Zub's writing it. I also just learned they're bringing back Savage Sword. Yeah, I saw that announcement and I'm pretty excited for it. And they got some pretty big names like Harry Nord and Howard Chaykin. So I'm hyped for it. Nice. I just backed his new book, Fargo. Okay. Yeah. I like the version that they put in the trailer for The Social Network. That was a really good version of Creep. Which I was disappointed. I'm always disappointed when the trailer music isn't in the actual movie. Like Blue Monday wasn't actually in Wonder Woman 84. Maybe that could have saved that movie. But actually, there are so many things wrong with that movie that it couldn't have saved it. I don't know. Wasted Space Omnibus. Well, I know it's got a big deluxe edition that I've got. Let's see. He may have signed. He may be restarting. Kid A, brilliant album. I have that on vinyl somewhere. I have a bunch of Radiohead on vinyl. While we're waiting for Bunk, do you have a favorite character from Ted Lasso? We just finished season 2, my daughter and I. Oh, Axel, hey, welcome. Sorry that I'm late. Omar's still not finished. That rap bastard. Nova Omnibus is the best. Well, we're just going to be sort of showing you a little bit. I picked this may be in my top 5, but once I get through to a top 10, some of these won't be a surprise to anybody, but maybe 1 or 2. Let's get back to the Ted Lasso. I think Roy Kent might be my favorite. There's so many good characters in that. As I said, we just finished season 2. I love Rebecca. I love Roy Kent's girlfriend. I mean, I love every character in there. And I think the relationship between Rebecca and Ted Lasso is really sweet. And gosh, I love Sam. I loved Jamie's actually so great. His transformation, especially in the rom-com episode when he goes, "Oh, and the 3 Kates," and and they start talking about the Kates. Keely Jones is great. So I love Roy Kent's just his whole I just love that guy. But I have a question now because I have to go back and watch it. The Valentine's Day Harley Quinn special. Who was it that was in the Coliseum signing books? Was it Roy Kent or was it Jamie Tart or who? I can't remember. It was somebody from Ted Lasso, and it wasn't Ted Lasso himself. But I hadn't seen Ted Lasso yet, so I didn't get the reference. Was it the actor that plays Roy Kent or the actor that plays Jamie Tart? They do start to flesh out Jamie a lot more, and he and I like how organically he turns into what he's turning into. I I love the interaction between everybody. Of all the omnibuses that are scheduled in these last weeks of 2023, which one are you looking forward to? Oh, it was Brett Goldstein, Roy Kent. Okay, cool. Thank you. Now I can go back and enjoy completely the Harley episode where I'm going to have to turn on closed captioning so I can understand what the hell Bane is saying. Thank you for that, Rick. Axel, I am going to have to go to comic releases, which I can do. Comic releases, friend of the show, comic. Hey, could you bring me some ooh, that's a present.
Yeah, I thought it looked like it.
Could you bring me like 8 aspirin?
Oh gosh, sure.
Thank you. Okay.
The ones that are sitting out, right?
No, aspirin. Yeah, the thing that nobody takes anymore. I'm going to give it a shot. Comic releases. Okay. Let's see. Collected editions. Yeah, all upcoming. So we are here. Where are we? Okay. So I will ask Bunk. Where are we? 11:14. Okay, that stuff has already come out. You're welcome for that Ice Cream Man Sunday edition. Let's see. Has Bunk come back? No, Bunk hasn't come back yet. Terry's a fan of Superman War Saga. I have all those issues in all the things that were previously released, and I need to catch up on that. Let's see. What am I excited for? I can share my screen. Present. Share screen. Window. Prater, you'll see in just a sec because I'm going to share it. This is comicreleases.com. Webhead and I always do a show at the beginning of the month for what the collected editions are that we care about for the entire month. And Webhead is a great guy. Here we are here. Maybe I could blow that up a bit. Can I? Wait. No. Yeah. Whoa. Take it easy. Okay. Maybe that works. Let's see. Yeah, you can see that better. Let's see. Oh, we have a question from Elan, the lobster hybrid in my Discord. Elan is a great person. If you had to read one piece of work from Grant Morrison, what would it be? Especially for someone who's not a fan of their work on Batman. I would say, oh, thanks, sweetie.
You're welcome.
Upper level management to the rescue. Oh, okay. This is acetaminophen with aspirin. Okay, good. Yeah, it's good enough. Rick Ray says Animal Man. That is a great choice. Prater says something that I was going to say. All-Star Superman. That's one of the most accessible ones he's written. Wait, as I take 25 of these. I also would say Klaus. A little big pill. Ugh. Terry, I hope you're happy. I just had aspirin. We Three, also good, and has an ending that I can live with, as opposed to Pride of Baghdad by Brian K. Vaughan, which I don't think I can read again. Let's see. Klaus, Joe the Barbarian is also accessible and a blast, a real blast. Oh yeah, we'll get lots of answers for you here too. Doom Patrol's a little bit more out there than Animal Man, but not as far out there as Invisibles is. I can also it's also easy for me to tell you what you should not read, but let's see. Also, Grant Morrison's New X-Men is what got me into X-Men, so I can recommend that. If you like X-Men or need an introduction to X-Men, that was my gateway into really liking X-Men. I really hadn't read any X-Men until I got that omnibus in 2014-ish when I switched to collected editions instead of single issues. And that's what also explains why I liked the early X-Men movies that Very Fine Condition always makes fun of me for, because I didn't know anything about X-Men. Jean kills Cyclops in like the first 10 minutes. Oh, okay. That's how it goes. Whatever that one was that number 2 or number 3? Yeah, I definitely not Invisibles or the Filth. They are weird and overly complicated. I would go so far as to say, now Rick likes a lot of different kind of stuff. And Rick likes a lot of indie level stuff and maybe deeply intellectual kind of stuff. But I consider the Filth unreadable. I'll tell you another book that's unreadable, and that's Nameless. Okay, how you doing?
Am I back?
You are back. Yeah, you sound good. Did you restart?
I restarted and it took that long. So apparently, as soon as I get done with this stream, I'm reformatting my entire computer. So,
Holy smoke.
Yep. When you can't even load email, you know things are going wrong.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point. Oh, it's the third X-Men: The Last Stand. I really liked that when it came out because I hadn't read any X-Men. We're talking about what Grant Morrison books to read and to avoid.
That's easy. Avoid all of them.
Elon says you just missed a question perfect for you, Bunk. You're not a Grant Morrison fan?
I have tried a bunch of things, and just they and I we're gonna just have to agree that we're not each other's cup of tea.
Okay,
and
that's fair.
I really want to. I like a lot of if you describe Grant Morrison stuff on the surface, I'm like, perfect. That sounds like it's right up my alley. And every time I read one, I'm like, I don't like this.
Well, it's not for everyone. He's definitely a different style writer. Joey Richards just saw Very Fine has a live on at the same time. Doesn't he know you will steal all of his viewers? Maybe if I was giving away free books, I'd steal all his viewers. Maybe that's what I'll do in January. I'll schedule the giveaway at like 11 a.m. and see if I can steal a bunch of viewers from him.
He's been going strong. He started at 10 o'clock today, and they've just been like cranking them out. So yeah, there's a lot he's giving away.
Oh, that's such a nightmare to mail those things out.
Especially because he handles all of the postage himself.
Yeah. Speaking from experience, and I would guess that since my site is 10% of what his is, and I would guess that I send away 10% of the packages, I still had 15 or 20 packages to send. So if he's got 100 books to give away, he's going to be on there a long time. But I don't care. Look at the people we got.
We have
people.
We have the best people. I'm just saying. Like, I mean, I'm looking here. We got Rick Ray talking about Dennis Camp, who may or may not be on this list. We got Elon. We got Joey. I mean, we have some top tier talent hanging out with us here today.
Dennis Camp, fanboys. Okay. Joey's laughing. Good. Always good to see Joey laughing. Elon, I would recommend Coyote Gospel as a single issue for Bunk.
Yep, I've read that's the one from Animal Man, where basically Wile E. Coyote comes into the real world and he uses his animal powers to interact. Yeah, it was good. It was fine. It was an interesting concept, but again, like a lot of it, my big thing with Morrison is like I like his stuff, their stuff conceptually, but just the execution, like their writing style, just does not click for me every time. Yeah. I'm just like, I don't enjoy the surface level of this story. And so that makes it hard to enjoy the meta context.
And let's all remember that it was actually Chuck Jones with Daffy Duck that came up with that meta thing of breaking the fourth wall as Animal Man does in Coyote Gospel, which Coyote Gospel, I think Coyote is his way of referring to Chuck Jones because of the Roadrunner and the Coyote. It's been so long since I read it. He may even refer to Chuck Jones in it. I don't know.
I mean, it's very clearly an illusion of Wile E. Coyote and sort of the constant death and rebirth of a cartoon character. And so basically, a Wile E. stand-in is like plucked into the real world.
Right.
And
okay.
It's
That's
like
right.
this like anthropomorphic wolfman that is just like constantly murdered in these gruesome ways.
That's
And
right.
and it's basically like taking the plots of the, you know, the cartoon physics world and like putting them here, and it's just sort of subjecting it, and it's like showing, and like Buddy is interacting and sort of like feeling the pain. And again, cool concept into that. Didn't love the execution.
Okay, well, that's fair. I recommended Klaus as a good gateway book for Elon. Let me think. Because I what I love of his, I love, and what I don't like of his, I hate. Nameless was a book I was excited to read. I had no idea what happened throughout it, and then in the pages afterwards, they give a list of books that you can read to understand what's going on in Nameless. And I'm like, what the hell is this, college, or why am I reading this book? I don't need uh I don't want to read books to understand the comic book. Just give me the freaking comic book. I don't want to have to go out and get 7 volumes of Immanuel Kant to understand what the hell you're talking about. So I was not happy. And that book is no
comics with a
longer in my
syllabus are
collection.
comics
Yeah,
with a syllabus are tough.
yeah, it's exactly a good way to say it. At the same time you recommended Klaus, it was the answer on another channel for a giveaway. Well, good for whoever got it. Elon has an opinion. Days of Sand and Carmen should be considered, in my opinion. Carmen I read last year, but if you read it this year, Elon, that's good for you. I put it in my top 10 for last year.
Carmen was one I read in single issues when it was coming out. So yeah, that will not be showing up here because I don't consider that a this year book. But hey, if it's on your list, you know, no arguments here.
No, I mean, I have books that came out from last year. It's when you read it. Yeah. Whenever you read it. Because I just reread Superman Birthright, and I may put it in my top 10 again. It's so good. That's for tomorrow's show with Jessica. We haven't figured out what we're calling it yet, but we're going to be discussing Superman, and it's always going to be on Sunday, and Super Sundays just sounds too obvious. She and I batted around some names, but tonight, 8 o'clock is with the Minister of Comics. And tomorrow at 1, Jessica and I are going to be discussing Superman.
So how is that going to work with the Rams coming back?
They're on at 4:30.
Okay.
Yeah. It's only going to be a couple hours. With junior level management might be over like around 3. So
speaking of your Rams real quick, that Carson Wentz signing,
why are we bringing this up? What?
First off, I'm the world's biggest Carson Wentz fan, but that was timely. Right after that, you saw 2 AFC North quarterbacks go down for the year, and suddenly teams are scrambling for backups.
That was a really close call. I just saw that about Joe Burrow. Who's the other one that got hurt?
A not so nice guy for, unfortunately, my hometown, or my current hometown, Cleveland Browns.
Right.
Deshaun Watson, who's a scumbag, and I'm not unhappy that he's gone. But
no, that guy.
100%.
100%. Yeah. I just remembered, please, Organic Price Books. Use the code OmniDog for $2 off. And 5% off shipping 4 or more books together. OmniDog, ship it together. I'm going to get OmniDog Sit as another code, but he hasn't given it to me yet. So I'm gonna. No V-neck today, BunkMasta? Are you a V-neck guy?
No, I was just you remember the Brave and the Boys stream that you were on briefly for Jake's bachelor party?
Yeah.
So everyone who was on that's part of the Jabronis chat, that's part of the OPB gang. Mitch basically mandated that everyone got the V-necks, and because I was on there, I was sort of associated with that. So Elon, I actually did look around, and unfortunately, the only V-necks I own are undershirts, which I've considered wearing, and then I was just like, this is not appropriate. I can't make this work in like a public facing thing. So unfortunately, I can I can give you a temporary V and kind of go like that, but it's not going to last.
We'll go temporary V-neck.
Oh, I like a temporary V stream.
Are you yanking it down the whole time?
I mean, so on that stream, the way I made up for it was just more and more buttons kept going down, and I think that's actually when we chased you off the stream. I
think that may have been when I tapped out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Jake was the first one to officially like let it fly, and we was like, you know what? It's a bachelor party. Let's make it happen. So yeah, by the end of that night, Jake, David, and myself, we all were just anyone who had a button down, it was just letting fly all the way open.
Okay, I think we've spent enough time. To be fair, you were mostly topless during that stream, Bunk.
I had a shirt on. It was just, this section was the only part that was, the rest of it was covered.
Let's go to there was a request for what omnis we are looking forward to from now until the end of the year. And so we start with, there's the complete Klaus Deluxe.
Well, while you actually have that open, I just happen to have this box right here, and the contents may include one of those books, which was actually my most anticipated book for the second half of the year.
Oh, are we having an unboxing?
I mean, if you want.
Okay, yeah, we'll go back to comic releases in a sec. Yeah, let's show me the box then.
I figured it kind of lined up with what you had on the screen right there, and this was my most anticipated release for the second half of the year. So, gotta get my address out of here.
Yeah.
So this is, I got a few good things here. So first off, Cosmic Detective. This book is excellent. I read this digitally. This is my physical copy coming in afterwards. Love this book. I'm jealous of everyone who got the Kickstarter and got the nice hardcover.
Thank you.
But yeah, David Rubin's art should be as big as possible.
Okay.
And as far as my most anticipated book from here until the end of the year, it is Ice Cream Man Sunday Edition Volume 2. Thank you. I appreciate your sacrifice buying those trades, but
I have them all.
I have it in singles. And in fact, the last issue contained in this book, that right there is an original page from there. So that is page 2 from issue 24.
Wow. Yeah, so, you are big into original art, as is Cycle.
Yeah, and I love Martin Morazzo's line work. It's just so clean and steady, and in a way that just his originals pop. And then last thing I got is not from now, but I just happened to find the post. Yeah, I've been looking
one of my favorite books ever.
And the hardcover is super out of print, and it like popped up for a second, and I was super
happy.
Is? Yeah, it's like you can't. I mean, not super out of print. Like you can find it for like a little over cover, but like I'm allergic to pain cover for prices. So
we've all been spoiled. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so that kind of put it at like it's most of the places it's like around $80 or so. And now there's the softcover version, but I was super happy to find the OHC.
That's great.
Very excited.
I love that book. I thought that was really well done.
This right here, Sunday Edition, Volume 2.
That was your most anticipated.
Just came out last week.
Half?
Yep. Amazing issues in there. Probably my favorite from this one, if anyone's read it, issue 19, How to Be a Ghost. It's. I think that's one of those really illustrative issues that show like Ice Cream Man is kind of, I think, miscast as a horror book. Like it's existentialist horror. It's sort of, just exposing the everyday horror of the human condition. but it's not like a, ooh, this is scary. It's like a, huh, there are some crazy things that happen in life, and like, let's make allusions to the supernatural and kind of superimpose that over here.
Mm-hmm. Renee is Venom.
Who is
Yo, I
a
lit
winner
a can-
today.
Oh, Renee won something on Very Fine
Yeah.
Condition?
Which the joke is, I assume Renee's wife is not watching this stream. Although if she is, she should like and subscribe. Renee has for a while had the joke that he had a screen cap of his name showing up in a giveaway. So anytime he had a big comic haul, it was like, no, I didn't buy this. See, I won it. See this screen cap right here.
That's
so
how he
now
explained it to his wife.
and now he has an actual real one. But yeah, I have Renee lit a pumpkin spice candle for this to come through, because when I ordered it with how out of print it is, I didn't believe I actually had it until I saw that it was scanned and shipped, and he made it happen. So I
Wow,
appreciate
okay.
your pumpkin spice sacrifice.
Now, where do you know Renee from? Is he a viewer of your channel?
He's he is, but he's a big NMC Discord person.
Well, Renee, you need to join OmniDog's Discord, which is a happening place sometimes. Once in a while. I have that in my description, how to get into the Discord. And I also have Bunk's information there, BunkMasta be on comics. So you guys should go check out his channel. And I keep forgetting it, that I'm supposed to do, what is it? 5 books that
Oh yeah, the 5 comic challenge.
Yeah, what is that again? I forgot.
So that was something that was misascribed to me. So people have been like calling it like Bunk's challenge. It's not. Someone else like mentioned it, and then I made a thing, and then other people said it to me. But it was a super fun video to do, and a few other people came through, where you just make a video covering the 5 most important books in your collection. Okay. However you define that. And so for me, it was like the books that mean the most to me for whatever reason.
Okay.
And a few people did it, and it's a fun video to make, because it's just an excuse to talk about a lot of times the books that we don't normally get to, but you get the veneer of like, showing that personal connection. And so yeah, that was probably my favorite video to make this year.
I think Jake gave me the 5 book challenge when he was here in July, so I still haven't done it. But I'm feeling good today. Maybe today I could do it.
In all your time between your streams. Yeah.
When I'm not refueling and sleeping. Our Discord is for the people. Our Discord is free. I get bullied a lot on Discord. Join my Discord. No bullies are allowed.
I think Renee is oftentimes the bully himself, but it's like it's a loving circle of bullying. It's consensual bullying. I want to make that clear. There is no non-consensual bullying.
Oh, James, I have to finish Bang. It is upstairs. It's on my iPad, which I forget about. I look at physical stacks of books, and I need to find the trade that he put out, because that's what I read, of course, first. But yeah, no, I do need to make that Bang video. Yeah, one thing I noticed, I guess Josh and Bar are still at very fine condition, because they're not yelling at each other in the chat here.
No, they last I saw before I came on over here, they were yelling at each other over on NMC. So don't worry, they're still yelling at each other, just a different place.
Oh, there's a commercial in playing.
Yeah, that's YouTube's new thing with the whole like monetized streams, where it's just like they'll randomly throw in commercials now. So yeah, nothing we can do about that.
I wonder if I should, like, every 10 minutes just say, okay, let's be quiet for 30 seconds, and then they'll stick an ad in there when we're not saying anything. But I don't know
And
what
then
the
the more commercial breaks
timing.
you have, the more money you get.
Well, I was actually just trying to make it a better viewing experience for the viewers. But I'd like to know what their timing is. It's very odd that they're doing it during live videos. And you're right. There's nothing we can do about it because they. I personally don't like the idea of breaks just getting shoved in there, because I think then the viewers miss whatever we're saying, even if it's a 5-second video that you can skip. So Terry got a commercial at 1:51. I'd be interested to know when other commercials come on. Maybe
Yeah,
I
let us
can.
know. Let us know if you have a commercial that comes in and like where, because of course there's always a delay between us and doing that. Like, what happened right before that came in, and maybe we can try and game plan this system a little bit.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Cycle's planning a string quartet to your door next door, by the way. Oh, you just got one a couple minutes ago, so it looks like it was at the
151 mark. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe at the 50-minute mark. You've already had 3. Seriously?
We appreciate your sacrifice, Alon.
Yeah. What the heck? Yeah, if everyone could just let me know what time, let us know what times they are. I'll do that tonight with the minister too, and I'll try and plan out just silent breaks for 5 seconds so nobody misses any content. Okay, thanks, Terry. Also, you had a question up here. Is the Hush Omnibus worth getting? If you don't own any Hush in any form, then yeah, it's worth getting. I have the Absolute of Hush, and then I have all the Paul Dini Hush books, so I don't need anything else because the other stuff isn't necessarily that good. But if you don't have any Hush, I think it's worth getting. I love that story. Some people don't. I don't care about you. I do. So I would say that it is worth getting if you don't own any Hush. Oh, Marcelo brings up a good point. I would expect ads to play different for each user.
Now, I would expect that the ads themselves would be different based on sort of like viewing profiles, but I would think, and I have nothing to back this up, but just sort of general, perception, that the ad breaks it would put in would be the same.
Yeah, because if you're a super popular I mean, if you've got 1 million viewers and you've got 1,000 people on your stream, I wouldn't expect 1,000 different ad breaks to be happening. I mean, I would assume that I understand what Marcel is saying, but yeah, your point is right. It's more likely to be a localized commercial type of thing. But would they really have it so that in an hour 1,000 people would get 1,000 different commercials at that time?
Well, the
You know what I'm
commercials that
saying?
yeah, but I mean the commercials that YouTube plays, I think, are based on like cookie preferences and things like that. So it's not like you're watching broadcast TV where they're like, here is this. It's just like they
Okay.
have different advertisers and like they put in like time slot ad for X cookie tracking, like young millennial Gen Z flip flop wearing, like whatever the like specific data set says that they do.
Yeah.
Cookie tracking is crazy. Like when you look and like you
Wow.
see how like they group customers and like what things they have going on there, it's nuts, man.
Here's a question for you, because I'll let you answer this.
Is Ice Cream Man better than Silver Coin? I thought Silver Coin was solid. So whether it's better or not is going to be subjective to you. I think they are very different books. This is where, again, I think that Ice Cream Man kind of gets miscast a little bit as a horror story. So they're both telling anthology standalone horror stories, Silver Coin has some really, really great stuff because, of course, they have that rotating cast and sort of rotating stories. So sometimes you have really great hits and you have really great stories, and then it kind of moves on out. And it's all about the same Silver Coin as sort of that the general through line that goes with everything there. Um, versus Ice Cream Man is same creative team all the way through. They are anthology stories, but they take place in the same world, in the
Yeah,
same
and
mythology.
there's a thread line that goes through
Yeah.
them all.
So, like, Ice Cream Man, I think is far more unsettling than it is
Yeah, that's a good way to say
like straight horror, and that tends to be more what I go for. So between the two of them, I like Ice Cream Man more. I think Silver Coin, if you were looking for a straight horror book, is probably the better choice for you. But I think Ice Cream Man is a really special book that is doing a lot of things that other books aren't necessarily doing. And I'm attracted to that sort of general unsetting human condition style storytelling. So I think it's better, but there's going to be a lot of people that disagree and are going to look at something like Silver Coin saying this is more what I'm looking for. What about you, Jess?
I haven't read Silver Coin. I refuse to do anything until the deluxe comes out.
It's on
So,
Hoopla.
okay. I didn't know that. Okay. Well, I haven't read it, and I have my stacks of shame that I have to concentrate on, which I will be going through some of them because that's all I've been reading. Tonight, we're going to be talking about recent reads with the minister. I agree with you on Ice Cream Man. I just haven't read Silver Coin. But if Renee thinks Silver Coin was solid, then I would think Renee would enjoy Ice Cream Man because I everything you've said is 100% correct about the unsettling aspect of it. That's what I really like about what I've been able to binge watch when I'm feeling well. I'm a horror movie and TV fan. I'm
Mhm.
not a slasher fan. What I like is the unsettling.
Yep.
The Mike Flanagan. I'm on a big Mike Flanagan binge right now. I'm going to watch everything he's ever done.
Is he the one who's doing Fall of the House of Usher? Is that him
Yeah,
or okay? Yeah.
that was great. I love that. And I just watched Midnight Mass. That was very unsettling. But it also, I will say, the ending made me not ugly sob, but it made me cry. It didn't make me ugly sob like at the end of Mandalorian season 1, when a certain somebody shows up at the very last uh in the very last episode, which was
Season 1 or
so.
season 2?
Oh, is it season 2?
Season 2 is the one on the ship when, like, it looks like all hope is lost, and then
Oh,
you, like
okay, it's season
okay,
2. Okay, thank
okay,
you for
yeah.
that. I haven't seen season 3 yet. Thank you for correcting me on that. Season 2, that was so unexpected.
Mhm, mhm.
I I ugly sobbed for 15 minutes after that. It just hit me in such a way that I just absolutely lost it, and which of course is the sign of a great show, I think, when it affects you emotionally like that. And that's what I like about these Mike Flanagan movies and TV shows. Uh, Midnight Mass was very unsettling, but yeah, I felt the ending had. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, so let me think how to say this. The ending had a moment in it that was it had a very it had an emotional impact on me that it was a bit of a heartstring tug
Okay.
that um that got me.
So
Have you seen any of?
no, but everything that you are saying, is, like, right on board with me, and I've had many, many people who kinda know sort of my genre of horror that I like, which it sounds like we're pretty well aligned on that, have recommended, like, the Mike Flanagan stuff to me.
Good.
Um,
Let's get to know
and
Bunk. We'll
and
find out what else you like. That I had that horror movie show with Jenny. I feel like it was 2000. Yeah, it was 2019. We did it for a year, and she's a huge horror fan, and she even likes some bloodier stuff than I do. We're not getting to know Bunk right now. We're getting to know me. But so I saw a lot of horror, and what I've found is that what especially unsettles me, anything with Ouija boards, demons, witches, the occult stuff is what really unsettles me. I'm not into any slasher stuff, but I will say a movie that affected me emotionally and I was shaking for 2 hours afterwards. I watched it right before I did the show with her. It was one of the last movies we reviewed. It was Don't Breathe. Have you seen
Okay.
that?
I don't know that one.
Holy guacamole. It's like a horror thriller. It
Okay.
takes so many twists and turns. For some reason, I watched it on my laptop in my other house, and this was 2019, I guess. It was so tense with so many twists and turns, and there is some horror in it, but I was visibly shaking for 2 hours afterwards. I was so unnerved, and that is what I like. I like being unnerved and unsettled. I don't want to see, I understand that people like movies like Saw and Hostel and the Friday the 13th stuff. Peace and love, good. That's good. I'm glad you like it. It's out there for you. But I like the things that are unseen. Like it's a demonic presence. Like what's the movie Paranormal Activity, the first one.
Okay.
I saw that at 3 p.m. and my wife was working in Baltimore at the time, so that was before 2014. I saw that at 3 p.m. She usually didn't come home till 8. I picked up the phone. I said, "Come home right now. I cannot be alone in this house anymore. Just whatever you're doing, I don't care. It's me and the dog's not enough emotional support for me. Come home." I mean, that had everything in it. Like the unseen was the scariest part of that Paranormal Activity movie. I was just flipped out.
So I have recommended before. I know Kristen has been pushing this. I'm going to once again tell you, Yellow Jackets is absolutely going to be your cup of tea with that.
Oh, okay.
Especially season 1. Season 2, it kind of does a little bit more, but season 1, it's basically like, what if Lost was better and was 90s retro horror, but it's got this mystery about it where there could be a cult, there could not be a cult, but there's something happening there. It's got a session, part of it is back in the 90s when the girls are stranded. Part of it is the girls now, and you don't know what happened to everyone there.
Uh-huh.
Really, really well done. Very, very tense, very unsettling.
Oh,
And
okay, good.
it has that same kind of just sort of like creepy, maybe a cult, maybe not. And it's highly, highly recommend. Everything that you are telling me right now about kind of what your cup of tea is,
Okay.
it says like, get on Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, well, Kristen's the one that recommended Squid Games for me, and I loved that. Prater, I don't want to know anything about Barbarian. I totally want to see it. That's the next movie up. Where's that coming from? Are you hearing that?
Yeah, I think that's my system just kicked on. Let me go turn that off real quick.
Oh, we shouldn't be able to hear it through your headphones, though, should we?
Well, it's picking up on my mic. I'm in my basement, and so my heating system just kicked on.
Oh,
so
freeze out the rest of your family. This is way more important.
I agree. That's why I'm going to go do it. I'll be right back.
Okay. Renee is leaving before he gets a choke out from his wife again. Okay. Peace and love. Thanks for being here. Renee. Yeah, Prater, I want to see Barbarian. I know nothing about it, and that's what everybody says. The minister recommended it to me, and he knows my horror tastes perfectly. So I gotta see that next. That's really at the top of my list, as well as Doctor Sleep. Are you getting any of the EC horror collections? I have a bunch of them that I love that are in hardcover. I feel like they're not doing hardcovers anymore, and the ones that are missing from my collection are way too expensive online for me to even look for. But I have, plenty of Vault of Horror and Tales from the Crypt, shock suspense stories. I have plenty of those to keep me satisfied. So I'm if I have gaps in my collection and all that's out there is the new trades, I'm fine with getting them. So I need to look to see what my gaps are, and that's actually a good recommendation. Thanks, Axel. Just watch Nun 2. Do I need to see Nun 1 first before I see it? Because I haven't seen Nun 1. And I did like The Omen back when I was 17 is when it came out. Yeah, that thing flipped me out. I liked The Omen. I was 17 when it came out. That's an old movie. How's it going, Rodimus? Thanks for coming here. El gran omnipero y okay, wait. I always struggle this one. Majestuoso bunk. Sorry, I'm late. We'll catch the replay to see what I missed. Are you coming from very fine conditions to just drop in? Are you going back there to try and win a book? What kind of viewer are you? What in the world? Fax machine. Did I say fax machine? Is there a haunted fax machine in some? Oh, is that what he thought was going on with you?
I mean, honestly, I think any fax machine that's still working at this point in time is probably haunted. So it would make sense that it would be there.
They're all dead.
Everything's sounding better now?
Yeah. Thank you. Spider-Man life story stoned on a New York balcony. Comic book heaven. Spider-Man life story. I think I teared up at the end of that one. Pretty sure I did. That's a great book. I don't partake of any stoned substances, but I'm glad they work for you. I wish they worked for me, but they do not. Oh, that noise did sound like a haunted fax machine. Oh, he already won something, but staying here. Rodimus, yes.
Oh,
muy bueno.
Nice job, Rodimus. What'd you get? I didn't see that your name came up.
Yeah, what did you win? Classic is Fright Night, VHS days, 80s. Lou gave me a bunch of recommendations because Lou tends, from Omnibros, Lou tends to like bloodier stuff than I do. But he also recommended, I'm trying to think. It was a George C. Scott horror movie from The Changeling. That's what I need to see. The Changeling he recommended. Before we get it, I think it's probably time we just dip into what some of our faves are. Oh, we never went back to what we're looking forward to before the end of the year. But I will say I have notes that I made.
You gotta say what you're.
Yeah, what I'm looking forward to.
What
now?
Your book is, yeah.
My favorite books. You cut out there for a sec.
Sorry, I just had to freeze and then go. Yeah. What was that?
What did you say? Something about books? How are you doing?
Oh, I was just saying we still need to hear what your most
anticipated books. Okay. I'll go back to that. Rodimus won 5 Udon Street Fighters and Devil May Cry art hardcovers. Udon Street, I don't even know what that is. So
Nice.
you won 5 of those, or
So
was it
Street
volume?
Fight, the video game.
Uh,
I think it would have
do
been
now.
5.
Sure.
So Street Fighter is the video game series, and Udon is the studio that puts out the comic adaptations of them.
Oh, okay. Now I did play Devil May Cry on my PlayStation 2, so I do know Devil May Cry. Are you hearing that horn honking? I have my
About real quick. I'm thinking. I don't hear any horn. You're good on that, but I'm hoping that if I leave and come back, that'll take care of the lag. See y'all in a second, guys.
Okay. I'll wait to go over this until you come back. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm looking forward to this Poison Ivy Volume 2. Whoever hasn't read Manifest Destiny yet, you got to read Manifest Destiny. That is a great series. You're welcome. I have the trades and I stuck with the trades, but this is a solid pick for a deluxe book. Let's see, Poison Ivy, yeah. Incredible Hulk, no. Riddler Year One, maybe. I'm not spending $500 on that Morpheus helm, sorry. Black Science, great. I already have them, so I'm not going to get it, but you guys should. I should do an overview of Green Lantern Volume 1. 7 Soldiers of Victory. Well, it's 7 soldiers, but yeah, it's awesome. I'm not looking forward to it because I already own it. You should too. Batman, Wonder Woman, Gail Simone. Yeah, you guys should get that. When is that? Okay, we're still in November. Batman Eternal, already have it. Hellboy. Ooh. Okay, here's my first thought. Madman Library Edition, Volume 5. I feel like there's a omnibus I've been looking forward to. Rat Queens, Gotham After Midnight Deluxe. I don't think I know what that is. Definitely looking forward to Dark Knights of Steel. I want to get that. Multiversity, Harley Screws Up. Yep. Spider-Man by Chip Zdarsky. You're welcome. I have all the trades. Where the money was. Wait a minute. I thought for sure. Yeah. Sigil, don't know it. Don't know it. Wonder Man. What? How did Wonder Man get an omnibus? New Mutants? That's an omnibus I'm getting. Felt like there was something I couldn't wait to get. What's happening here? No. Oh, I guess Devil's Reign I was kind of looking forward to. But I felt like there was something I was not ROM. I don't even know what that is, really. Oh, I was looking forward to this. Oh, and then there's Axe Judgment Day. Wait. Oh, that's January. Okay. Okay, I'll wait till Bunk comes back. Just had a commercial. And that was at 2:15. Okay. Yeah, I am winging it. Manifest Destiny. It's really cool. It is what if now of course I can't remember their names. Who are the explorers that left that explored they were sent out by the president to explore the whole western United States. Very very fine condition is finally done. Oh, so now we get Unstoppable Bar because very fine conditions off. Freaking bar. Oh, Lewis and Clark. Thank you. Oh, and Daruma's here. Okay, now I'll have like 40 more viewers. No, I'm not. I think I don't know that they would. I would think that I've seen it. $500. No, I'm not gonna be doing that. I will also have a giveaway, and I'm going to rig the giveaway to make sure that you get something, Bar. I don't have any ethics like very fine condition. I'm totally unethical. I will rig it so that you win.
You could also just send it
welcome,
straight
Mega.
up to her.
Yeah, I'll just send it to you. I'm giving away stuff in January, so I'm going to try and time it so I interrupt Very Fine Conditions stream. William Lee also, well, it's fine. We welcome everyone. We're happy to have you.
This is why we wait to start the topic. We do all the jibber jabber up front, and then we actually talk about what we're here to talk about.
Yeah, you can't call it a giveaway if it's rigged. Hey, I can do whatever I want. It's my channel.
If he's giving it
want
away,
to win something?
If it's being given away, it's still a giveaway.
It is still a giveaway. That's right. James trying to get me to rig it for him. Okay. I went through the, let's see, let's get here. Wait. Yeah. So 116. Wait, that's next year. Okay. Go back. Not this. I do want the New Mutants Volume 3.
I was going to say that Spy versus Spy, I figure would have your name all over it.
Already have it.
Oh, there you go.
You're right, though. You are 100% right. I have no idea who this is for. Wonder Man. This smells like Power Pack to me. What? And poor Geo. Inhumans can't get an omnibus, but Wonder Man can't. I mean, but Wonder Man can. That's give me a break. Who wants Wonder Man? That's ridiculous.
So when that one got announced, everyone, I think they had just announced that Wonder Man was going to be showing up in one of the MCU like things, and so the idea was that at the same time he's showing up on screen, here's if you want to drop $125 on this character that you just saw for the first time, you can buy this book of old issues that you'll probably read and be like, well, that's not the guy I'm seeing.
Nightwing, I want that. Multiversity, Harley, of course, I'm going to get that. But and Fantastic Four by Slott, going to get that. Dark Knights of Steel, going to get that. But it was an omnibus question, so wait a minute, where? The book I wanted, I think, is at the end of December. I already have Fear Agent. No, okay, wait. It was Devil's Reign. Where are you, Devil's Reign? Come here. What is your issue? Why are you not?
So, are you planning on doing Devil's Reign and the Zdarsky omnibuses, or are you? Do you have the Zdarsky hardcovers already?
I have the Zdarsky trade paperbacks.
Okay.
Now, so
are you going to be upgraded to the Omni?
That's a good question. That's going to be a Boss Omni.
Mm-hmm.
So I am considering that. Okay, I must not be looking right because I swear I saw Devil's Reign. Okay. Let's start at the bottom here and go up.
While you're doing that, I'm just going to look it up on Amazon and see.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. It was January when Devil's Reign comes out. I apologize. So I'm going to go with the book I'm looking most forward to is going to be Madman, Volume 5. There it is. Madman Library Edition, Volume 5. I already have Batman Eternal. I already have Wonder Woman, which is really great. What book are you looking most forward to in the next month?
So for those that missed it earlier, this was my most anticipated release. This is Ice Cream Man Sunday Edition Volume 2 for the rest of the year. For things that are still coming out, and they all rank lower than this, Fear Agent Deluxe is absolutely going to be on there. I've been waiting for that reprint, so I'm super excited about that. I'm very excited that the Omni is getting a reprint for the Hawkeye from Matt Fraction, David Aja, and Annie Wu. I love that run. I have the the soft cover compendium version of it, which is the same material. So I don't think I'm upgrading, but I'm just excited that that exists again.
Yeah.
You know, anytime anyone can read that format, and that Young Justice Omni that's right above that is looking really, really nice.
Okay, now is that Young Justice by Peter David?
Yep. Yep.
I've heard a lot of good things about this. I do like Peter David. I understand the concept of Young Justice. I've never read it, but I may be talked into this. And there was a question here. Hey, here's Reaper. What up?
What's up, Reaper?
We are looking at on comicreleases.com bar, and it's good to see you.
Presented by Webhead.
Presented by Webhead, yeah. This is what's getting released for the rest of the year. But I was asked what book am I most excited for coming up at the end of the year? Axel says, what size is a library edition? It's absolute sized. It's the size of a DC absolute.
I can grab one real quick and show it.
Good, yeah. My absolute size. I mean, my Mad Men are all in the other room. That's where I have those. Are you getting Superman Warworld? Is this a must or wait for Deluxe or Omni? I have all of Warworld in standard. Actually, that thing came out in trade paperback. So I have all those. I can't guarantee that it's getting a Deluxe or Omni because it's DC and I don't know what is going on. I like the Warworld. It's by Philip Kennedy Johnson and he's great. So I would recommend it to you. It's the whole thing in a big chunk of the Warworld stuff. And here let's show. Wait, we'll remove this for a sec. We'll remove that, and that is the size.
So this is a trade paperback. So your standard size right there. This is a library edition. So
good choice.
This is my favorite library edition I own. So it is almost absolute size. It's just a little bit smaller. This is going to be the size compared to an OHC. So you can see it is, if I can do it, there we go, taller and wider. So just a little bit smaller than an absolute, but beautifully constructed, priced much lower than a DC absolute. Those library editions are beautiful. Madman's $100, so it's around it, but I think most DC absolutes are now 150. So still, one of the best deals in comics are the DC or the Dark Horse library editions.
100%. A lot of them are like 75 or even less.
I mean, when this was 60.
Yeah.
Wow. It's I think 18 issues. And again, that is huge, oversized. Comes with a ribbon.
Yeah. That is a solid series too. I upgraded from trade paperback to that like that.
Oh, yeah.
I was happy.
Oh, I mean the colors in this, just any David Rubin art, I want as big as I can, but just like the color work specifically.
And the story's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what do I have the OHCs of? I have the OHCs of what? Oh, here's Hondo. What up, Hondo? Good to see you, buddy. My Bay Area buddy. Munin just dropped by to say hi and remind people to press that like button. Sadly, don't have time to watch right now, so I'll just watch the replay later. Thank you. Wonder Man, I think, was supposed to have a TV series. Wait. Okay. I do not know anything about the John Severin Western collection. I know the art's going to be tremendous, but I mean, it is Western stuff, which I love. So if it's priced properly, I could be talked into that. Upcoming releases, yeah, absolute sized. I'm mulling getting the complete Norse mythology, read it in single issues, and really enjoyed the comic adaptation. So here's where Josh was, and
told you.
Octane.
And we had Bar there earlier. You know, Josh and Bar are never too separated from each other.
You're right. I love Dark Horse Library Editions over the Marvel and DC Honors. Better price, easier to hold, and a ribbon. Good points. Only problem with the library editions, once they are gone, except for Hellboy.
Yeah, as we saw with the Harrow County Library editions, where they kept teasing reprints, and they're like, "Nah, just kidding."
Yeah. I've just come into the room to my madmen are in the other room. Help.
Blink twice if you need us to call someone, Jess.
Well, they're madmans that are grouped together, so they're madmen. Also, the Black Hammer, library editions are great as well. It's a good point. Remender image books are also library size and a great value. True.
It almost, because you know those are always coming, I'm so loath to ever pick up a new Remender series in singles or in trades, and just, you know, at this point, like, I'm just going to read it digitally, because I know I'm going to buy the giant oversized edition, because those are so nice, and I'm just going to buy them anyway. And like the things that I haven't, like Seven to Eternity, about the trades on that, and I'm just like, well, this is a sunk cost, so I guess I'm just going to hold on to this now.
But dude, that artwork and the size, that's the greatest artwork, and the story rocks. Oh, what is going on? What are you talking? What the hell? That's why you upgrade to those big books when you have trades, because his art is amazing.
Didn't I remember you saying something a few years back about you're done upgrading and double dipping? What? Don't I remember that happening?
There's also a clip of me saying, "Don't trust anything I say." I'm sure James has it somewhere. It may include "I'm a liar" or something.
That's fair. That's fair.
Here's CNSS 84. What up? Josh, did you win something? You did win something. What did you win? Hey, here's Kenny. What up?
What's up, Kenny?
Oh, you just subscribed. Thank you, CNSS. I appreciate
you will
that.
Not regret it. Probably.
Yeah.
If you are,
we've got an hour and a half waiting for Very Fine to get done so we could talk about the topic. Josh didn't win anything. Oh, he has your friendship, though. That's a prize.
And I mean, isn't that the real treasure? The friends we made along the way?
But somebody won Josh's Ivy painting.
He made a boss picture of Poison Ivy, and then he made the outline of Batman in the plants that she was growing behind her. I
wonder if he showed me that. I feel like, that's what I put. Haha. Okay. Now you regret being with us? or you I think Josh may have sent me that on Facebook. Oh my God, that painting was drool worthy. Josh, did you send me that? Maybe I can pull it up on Facebook. I feel like you may have sent me that. I can go to Facebook Messenger. If you didn't send it to me, why don't you send it to me now and I can show people? Just send it again. Okay, great. Yeah, here it is.
Sounds like you need to make some prints of this one.
Wow. Somebody won that? Holy guacamole.
Yeah, it was nice.
Look at that. And then the bat in the background. Josh is a talented guy, that is for sure.
And if we're talking about Josh's art, we can go back to dunking on him in a little bit. But if we are giving him his props, for anyone that didn't see, Josh did a Battober series where he did 31 different Batman-inspired pictures with different prompts. and they came out really, really nice. And I don't like to say nice things about Josh too much, but that one I'd be lying if I didn't say he killed it on those. He did a really good job.
Yeah, Bar's already back to dunking.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, no, that's basically it right there.
Hey, here's Tolga. I haven't seen you in a while, Tolga. Good to see you. Good to see you. While Crashline, while we're talking oversized books and arts, those Treasury editions are really awesome. I love that ginormous art. Is that the Marvel Treasury editions? Yeah, those are boss. Friends can be replaced, but that Hulk Masterworks Volume 7 will never be reprinted. Don't make me choose between books and friends. You can buy Bang the Ballad of the Tiger right here.
Yeah, we're not talking about that, though. He promotes that one enough. We're talking about Batman.
Yeah, Batman. And his Perion will get first swing at those Battober ones. You have a Perion or a Patreon?
He has a Patreon that he's going to put them up at, but in order to be eligible, you have to be sipping a Perrier while you're doing it, and so it's easier to just call it a Perion, just kind of portmanteau the two of them.
Oh, good word!
I love a portmanteau.
Look at that. Let's get to know Bunk. We had, before we get into the books, just real quickly, we had a in our chat that you and I had. I said that these live streams give me a reason to live, and I meant it in a lighthearted way, but it didn't have a laugh emoji or anything. And you sent me what was the book that you and Elon taught? This is, I mean, he went full existential on me, and I was like, whoa, you're a much deeper guy than I ever thought. And then you said you were what you were raised on. Let's get to know Bunk a little bit here before we get into the books.
Okay.
What was that book?
So a little context first off.
Okay.
I realized you were being tongue in cheek. I made some kind of thing. It's like, oh, I said it's a good purpose to have. A lot of people like it, and how you spread joy and you give your general being with all of this gives joy to so many people.
That's nice
and joy is something that we need right now. And then from there, we were talking about how Elon said that the book Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl ruined comics for him, kind of in the context of things like that. And you responded back, I recognize the word Elon there. So in response to that,
okay,
I gave you context and I broke it down. And yes, I talk a lot, so I gave a lot more than it was going there. But yeah, I would probably say that my favorite author is Albert Camus, and I'm very drawn to the French existentialist movement and just sort of the idea. I like sort of literature about sort of what our place in the universe is, and Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning is one of the best examples of that, because so many people talk about sort of what your identity is the things that you do, or how you treat other people. And Frankl had I don't want to drag this down too much, but he was a survivor of a very harrowing experience where his identity was basically taken from him and everybody else. And it's sort of in a situation like that, what is your identity? Who are you at that point? And it is one of the best sort of books about identity and sort of, our place that was there. And Elon had made the point that Day Tripper was ruined for him because they read it and it was just like, oh, okay, I can't enjoy anything else about sort of identity and things like that.
Okay, because of this book.
Yeah.
Well, now, were you at all impressed that I said, hey, dude, you didn't need to go full existential? Did it impress you at all that I recognize the existentialist part of that?
Jess, I am never not impressed by everything that you do. So, I mean, I can't say that individually impressed me because I was already at such a level of impressiveness that it's like you can't raise up over top of that.
I went
But
fishing for a minnow and I pulled up a whale.
I appreciate any kind of conversation about the existentialists. And again, it was just like, oh, buddy, get ready. We're
I,
about to go into this one. You
I
want to
put
do
a quarter into
metaphysics?
that machine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Uh, well, I see that I'm behind, but it's all Bar and Josh talking to each other. So which means that the universe is in its place because
Balanced
okay.
as everything should be.
Yeah, okay. It's I never got to finish Manifest Destiny because I blanked on Lewis and Clark. Sorry, Rodimus. Something else happened. Yeah, so Lewis and Clark are sent out to explore the unexplored. But in this case, what they find is a lot of supernatural stuff. So it's what if the unexplored part of the Western United States was actually full of dragons and fairies and crazy supernatural stuff, and what they have to do to survive, and what they go through. And I loved that book I started collecting it in singles, and I loved that book from the minute I read the first issue. I highly recommend it for people who like uh I don't want to just say just supernatural. I like the idea that somebody can take something that already happened and make it even more interesting than it well, what they've discovered was pretty interesting, but I think if I recall correctly, Sacagawea is in this and plays an interesting part, and they run into historical people, and it's a what if type of thing. What if the Western United States, starting at St. Louis, starting at St. Louis and going west, what if it was full of the unexplained and the supernatural? So that's why I recommend it. Yes, it is a high recommendation. Sorry I didn't get back to that.
I have not read that, but I've seen the trades around. Never knew what it's about. I'm definitely checking that out now. That
Oh,
sounds
good.
awesome. Is it Josh? Is that a Joshua Williamson book, or who did that one?
I don't have it in front of me, so let's see.
I'll look it up in another tab.
Let me whoops. Let me actually. We'll go to it. Okay, now this is me scrolling again forever to try and find it. Oh, I feel like it's coming out in November.
Is it getting an Omni release or an OHC?
It's a deluxe, yeah.
Okay.
Here it is. Okay.
Oh,
We will
yeah.
go to OPB. Let's see if it tells us the
$50, man. $50
Chris
is a little
Dingus.
bit too much for me, but $48 seems like the perfect price for this particular book. Jess, do you happen to know how someone might be able to save $2 on their order of a book at OPB?
As a matter of fact, thank you for asking. Instead of paying $50, as Bunk said, pay $48 with the code OmniDog. Or if you're really smart and bundle 4 more books together, you get 5% off, which really saves you money with OmniDog shipping together.
Now you probably can only use that code once, right? Like just
No.
once. You can use it multiple times and save $2 or 5% off multiple orders.
You can order all day, 24 hours, and just keep using those codes, and you will save money. 5% adds up when you're getting 4 books.
Man, I got to remember that code OmniDog for $2 off. I mean, that's just good fiscal sense.
So it's Chris Dingus that writes
Okay.
it with actually, you can see the art there a little bit. Matthew Roberts, the coloring is Boss, and as you can see, there are creatures on the front. of it with Lewis and Clark and the various members of their expedition who, spoiler alert, don't all make it. So yeah,
according to Image, this first printing is going to be 5,000 copies, and it looks like it's covering issues 1 through 24. So that's going to be a decent sized book right there.
yeah. So let me think. That's probably through volumes 4, I would guess. That's probably the first. Okay, if there's like 6 issues in a
the
book,
first half.
I would think you're right. It's the first half. And there's 8 or 9. I think there's like 9 books now.
According to Image, volume 8 looks like it's the last one, and that collects through 43 through 48. So that's So if it's 1 through 24, it's going to close out in 2 deluxes.
Nice. This this is something that sounds like it could be an upgrade for me. Yeah. So there we go. Manifest Destiny, definitely. And Poison Ivy, of course, right, Bar? Yes.
I love volume 1 on that. I'm very excited to keep reading on that.
Same. Okay. Now we can so Bar, do you want to join the chat and talk about your top books? I can always send you the link through if you want to join us on the air, not the chat. If you want to join us on the air, because we were going to title this book this stream. Okay, wait. This was going to be a Bar stream. Where is Bunk? Here it is. We did talk about how awesome Bar was. Oh, whoa.
Yeah, you got to scroll back a ways.
I hit that existential part and it was long. Let's see. I told everyone okay, I reached my room safely. Bar, is it okay if I tell everybody what your new job is? Because I told Bunk, what did we do? Time to attack the stack of shame that Bar narrowed down for you. And I said, Bar's a blank now. I don't need hassles from her. And he said, wait, oh, for real? And I said, yes.
Bar gave you the all clear, by the way. She said, go for it.
Oh, okay. She's a cop now in the Israeli police force. She was already in the military, and now she's a cop. She's got superpowers, man.
By the way, Bar, this is the first I had heard about this, but one of the stories you had told previously is just made so much funnier by your profession now.
I don't think I know that story.
It is not safe to share on the air. But it gives new context with this.
Yeah, and Bunk said, man, Bar didn't even give me anything to read, but now I feel secondhand pressure to tackle my own stack of shame. And I was saying we could name this show Bar Pressures Bunk by Existing.
Well, because a few weeks ago she helped you do yours, and now I'm just like, Bar, I can't let Bar know that I have my own stack of shame and I'm not reading it. I gotta go read it myself.
Bar Pressures Bunk by Merely Existing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not necessarily, isn't it? I mean, everybody in Israel has to be in the military. Well, I don't know. You know that scenario better than I do. So, but if you want to be on the stream and talk about your top books, I'm happy to say we're just generally going to talk now that we're almost 2 hours into the show. We're going to talk about just in a broad sense. We're not giving our top 5. I mean, I just picked out 5 books that I know will be in my top 10, and but we're not giving our top 10. We're just talking about like 5 books.
Yeah, the idea is that this was like a way that we could start warming up those thoughts. So this is in no way like an actual direct order. We're not committing to these particular things, but it's just kind of like, all right, we've got 1 month left. Let's start thinking about this. And this was kind of a good warm up for it. And I mean, who doesn't love favorite books?
Yeah. Okay, I sent her the link, so we'll see if she wants to join. And she makes everything better, I think.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
The internet would agree with you.
The internet loves Barr. Everybody loves Barr. So I will go with my first pick, and this is what got me. This is what got me my new best friendship with Mike Allred, who I continue to chat with on YouTube. Strangely, Superman Space Age. I read this earlier in the year, and I don't want. I mean, I'll go in depth into it. You can see my review of it. I'm sure James can. Okay, James, can you pull up my Superman Space Age review so people can go there?
Oh, can he?
I know. I'm just kind of timing him. Of course, the artwork's great because it's Mike and Laura Allred. It deals with what if Superman was had been here ever since the Kennedy assassination. What?
Time. James got the link.
Thank you, buddy. Book of the year. That's right. And that's what got my amazing friendship with Mike Allred. No, I understand. I'm sure it's going to get a deluxe. This book will get a deluxe. You can wait.
I can see that getting an absolute in a few years, honestly.
Yeah, you might be right about that. It deals with the space age, and I understand the international viewers not complaints, but their concerns, because it is very America centric, starting with the Kennedy assassination and going through till modern times. And Lois Lane is the one who actually breaks the Watergate case. She's instead of Woodward and Bernstein, and she breaks all the big cases. I'm sorry, she breaks all the big stories for the Daily Planet. And yeah, this needs to be in deluxe format. It's, I would say, absolute format. Yeah. So wait, let me remove this. There we go. So the artwork is fantastic, and it deals with Batman as a very much of a street level, brand new hero. The heart in this book is amazing. What Mark Russell does with Superman is makes you care about him as a relatable person, even though he's a superpowered alien. The things he does in this book and the way he acts is one of the things, I'm sure Jessica and I are going to get to this eventually, is what makes this book so great, is that he is completely relatable. Only he still stands for hope. He still stands for selflessness and sacrifice. And it did definitely make me tear up at the end. I love this book. So I highly recommend it. I do understand what international viewers are saying, because it's completely America centric. And it deals with, Brainiac and time travel, and no one is safe in this book. So it's really remarkable from that standpoint. I always love it when no one is safe, like in Deceased or DC versus Vampires. But Mark Russell just does a brilliant job on this, and so do the Allreds.
Yeah, that would have made my list of 5, except I knew you were going to have it on there, so I didn't even bother putting it on. But I mean,
That's good. I'm glad you liked it.
It's a beautiful book. There's so many moments you can point to, even just like the smaller moments, like Clark's repeatedly meeting up at the bar with Pariah and repeatedly ordering milk so that they have to, start stocking milk at this bar for him. The way that that Superman and Batman muse differently on the trolley problem, and how each of them
right.
are so sure about their own particular one, and just how it explains those characters. Love that book. Excellent, excellent book.
Good. Well, yeah. I I think that's probably true. And I don't want to highlight your comment, Rodimus, but it's right. I don't want to give away that part. What is Rahul?
Yeah, so no one go in the comments and look at Rodimus's comment.
Don't look
Don't
at what
do
Rodimus says.
Just block him as a user so you're not even tempted.
Yeah, tangents are over. We timed it so your movie watching. What movie did you go see? Yeah, we knew Cycle would be back because we were going to be on tangents. Wow, we were on tangents 2 hours. So what was your first choice?
So again, in no particular order, because we're just kind of pulling these off. I went with 8 Billion Genies.
Oh, please sell me on this. I haven't picked it up. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about it.
So 8 Billion Genies is it. So it starts off as a concept, and it's very much a concept book. So for those that don't know, it's the story of what if every person on planet Earth at the same time got one genie that would grant them one wish, and then it would disappear. But it would, basically just do whatever they asked. And using that premise, it tells a ridiculous, funny, over-the-top story that is at the same time so character-driven and heartfelt that it is beautiful and ridiculous. Like it has poop jokes, it has heart-tugging moments. It shouldn't work. It is such a mashup that it feels like it should swing too far, but they managed to walk that tightrope, and it has a beautiful, beautiful ending. I read it. Yeah, it's this one. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. My issue is that I love all of Charles Soule's artwork. I'm sorry, his writing for the Big Two.
Mm-hmm.
I did not care for Letter 44, and I did not care for that other book, Curse Words. I didn't get. Yeah, Josh is right. You lost me on poop jokes. You're right.
I use that as an example. I don't know if there actually was, but it's just like there's some, I guess, more silliness is what I mean than like toilet humor.
But I didn't like those. I haven't liked much of his independent work, so that's what concerned me about this book. But your glowing review has me considering getting it now. It
is, like I said, I'm not generally the biggest Ryan Brown person, and to your point with Soul, like I don't always feel kind of that stuff. This worked. It shouldn't have. It should have. Normally I feel like this would be the kind of thing that it's kind of swinging too far. I'm like, you kind of lost me on that to reel me back. Yeah. But I thought this was beautiful. I really, really enjoyed this story. It's 8 issues, so it's a quick read. It takes place over a certain amount of time, so you get to see some progression all happening. I didn't watch Wonder Woman 1984, so couldn't tell you. But if Rick Ray is saying it, I believe it.
Yeah.
As long as he's not talking about Paper Girls, generally you should believe what Rick Ray says.
You don't like Paper Girls?
I love Paper Girls. Rick Ray
doesn't? Yeah. Son of a... Wait, whoa, we have our Israeli correspondent.
Hey now.
Hey.
Bar.
Yeah. Bar, how are you?
I'm good. How y'all?
Sorry,
I kind of missed what y'all were talking about because I was busy organizing. So
organizing or telling your parents to, hey, keep it down in there.
Oh yeah. Oh Oh, that was a bad one.
They were watching something on television. Oh,
Oh, they
something
were watching something on television.
Oh,
It was probably a movie or a TV show, but that was a very awkward part.
yeah, Cycle's right. Now it's a party. We've got the Unstoppable Bar, my Israeli correspondent in, and we just started on just a general idea of what our favorite 5, 3, 4, 5 books were for the year. We're not saying what they are in any order. We're just kind of saying what our favorite reads
Of the
have been
year.
so far.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can think about it while we talk about ours, or you can just tell us how great our picks are. And
So far, we've done.
I'm trusting Bunk.
So we did
and
8 Billion Genies so
That's
far.
what?
Well, I mean, this is a pretty perfect time to talk about Poison Ivy right now, Bar. I mean, come on, get on your soapbox,
Yes.
talk about Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
You know that one is on your list.
Yeah, it's going to be on mine. I can't wait for volume 2 this month. So sure.
Bunk
wax
blamed
poetic.
me. Bunk blamed me for starting Poison Ivy. I mean, pretty much everyone blames me for starting Poison Ivy, and I
Good
take it.
blaming.
I
Good
take
blaming.
that.
Good.
I think I'm probably going to be picking up a piece of original art from that.
Oh, wow.
Pretty soon here.
Ooh.
Look at you, Mr. Original Art.
I can't help myself.
I
It's a
know.
problem. It's a problem.
So what about Poison Ivy made you get on your soapbox and yell about it? Because Bunk's right. You're right. I think you're the one that got me to read it too. And I immediately put out a video on it because I knew Very Fine Condition hadn't. And who the hell is that guy anyway? So what about it appealed to you the most that made you want everybody to read it?
For me, it was the fact, as I think I probably mentioned it quite a lot of times in the past, that Poison Ivy is very an inconsistently written character because she never has her own stories. She never has like her own story being told from her own point of view. And so I feel a lot of people are misunderstanding this character because every writer just does with her whatever fits their story and their narrative. So I was very excited to hear that finally we're going to get a Poison Ivy story that solely focuses on her journey and what she's going to go through. And I was like, yes, finally people will get to see who Poison Ivy is. Like, if it's written well, finally people will understand who this character is. She'll finally have a consistency that she never had. And thankfully, it was written well because we got the wonderful G. Willow Wilson. When I heard that she's going to be the writer on this, I was excited. I didn't read anything by her at the time. But I heard a lot about her, and I knew she was going to do a great job. And she's killing it. She's doing fantastic. So I'm recommending this to everyone. First of all, at the beginning, we didn't know it was going to continue. I wanted it to be past 6 issues, and then I promoted it to be past 12 issues. And now I just want it to continue forever. So like G. Willow Wilson said, as long as this series continues to sell and DC continues to want me on it, I'm going to continue writing it. So that sounds like a good deal for me. So I'm trying to get as many people who might like this series to give it a chance. Maybe even people like Bunk who never thought they'll read a Poison Ivy series, and give it a chance and fall in love with this character like I have.
I love G. Willow Wilson, and I will follow her onto things. But I can say, until you kind of gave it your get on a soapbox and everybody should read this, it was not on my radar at all. And it wasn't until that you were just yelling, and I know what kind of things to look out for with you. But you're like, when you were talking about it, I was like, okay, I'll check this out. I was so glad I did. And also, Bar, Did you get the hardcover on that, or are you reading that in singles?
Yeah, I have the first hardcover, and I'm waiting for the second.
Okay. One of my favorite things with that is just how they have all of the variant covers are done to coincide with different plants, which I thought was just such a cool thing, because G. Willow Wilson talks about how she did a lot of work with different whatever the study of plant is,
Botanist?
etymology,
Botanist?
botanist. Thank you. She worked with a lot of for kind of the science of the plants that are going in there. And then you go to the variant cover section, and it's like each cover is arranged with a different plant. So it's like the name of the cover is like the scientific name of whatever plant is in the background. And of course, you know, any series that has a Zoe Thorogood variant cover is immediately up in my book.
I think he's talking about this part.
Yep. And then Zoe is on the right page, lower left. That's a Zoe.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of Zoe?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's that's one of the pieces of original art that I own.
You own a Zoe?
I do.
What
covers are fantastic.
What Zoe do you have?
Well,
This
keep
one,
going
my
back.
goodness.
That's a cool one.
Yeah, I really wish I could have this one. It's very rare.
It's not that rare. I can get it for you.
Really?
How has James not already sent it to you?
I still don't know how the comics I sent to you got to you, because apparently my address for you is like Bar Jerusalem, and the spelling of Jerusalem was wrong and everything, and I think it just got delivered to your block somehow, and it made it to your house.
I feel the mailmen were like, "Oh, this is a comic book, and it says Bar. It's Bar."
Yeah, it's Bar.
I order so many comic books; they probably already know at this point. Man, Jenny Friesen did a lot of beautiful covers for this series.
So great.
Jenny Friesen makes a lot of very pretty ladies.
Yeah, she really does.
Definitely. She draws beautiful people, but especially women. Yeah.
I'd have to go check which. I feel like it's a cover from the new Harley Quinn series by Stephanie Phillips. Oh wait, okay, wait, okay.
So this is
you're talking about Zoe Thorogood.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were talking about Zoe Lacay from Italy.
No, okay. I don't know who that is, but I bet I love her too.
Okay. Next show we do, I'll pull out some of my original art. I don't have very much, but
this is what Jess sent me.
That somehow made it there. Yeah.
And this is what James sent me.
Ooh.
There's a theme here.
Nice.
Y'all know me too well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I will. Yes. It's not rare here, so I'll find it for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So, we got our Zoes mixed up, but that's okay. Bar convinced me to buy Invisible Kingdom by G. Willow Wilson.
Yeah, I was just like, I just took a picture like this and then showed him some of the interior art, and it was like, okay, you sold me. Because Rahul really loves art. He loves looking at the art more than he does love reading, even. I just know how to sell people on things.
Yeah. Are you sure you should be a cop and not be like a comic advocate? Well, I told you that what you should be is like a comic advocate cop, where you're going out handing out comic books to people on the street and just saying, okay, the police force recommends this comic book to you, and of course they have to read it.
Do you know that that's exactly what a cop said to me in one of the stages? I had to be interviewed by a police officer to see that I don't have a criminal record and stuff like that. Apparently I don't.
Oh, phew.
And at the end, she asked me, "You mentioned comic books quite a lot in this question, even though we're talking about criminal record. Why do you like comics so much?" And when I explained it to her, she was like, "Why are you becoming a cop? You seem to really love comics and reading." And I was like, money. Comics doesn't have money in it.
Cops can go love comics too. They're not
Yeah.
mutually exclusive.
Right? She was like, you have this passion. Why aren't you working in it? I'm like, there's passion, and then there's wanting money to buy that passion.
Yeah. That's great that you said that so much in your interview that she asked you about it afterwards. That's a great story.
At that moment, I was trying to remember the context in which I mentioned comics.
Is this a real question or is he trolling you? Bar, have you read Lonely City?
I have read Lonely City, but he's probably genuinely asking me because he probably forgot, because he has the brain of a fish.
Oh, dang. Shots fired.
Holy smoke.
He's like Finding Dory, but yeah, I have it over there. But yeah, I read it and I loved it.
Finding Dory. What a great reference. Yeah, Lonely City, spoiler alert, that's going to make it to the top 10 when I finally put it all together. There were a lot of Black Label books that were fantastic this year.
Lonely
Thankfully,
City
I
was...
did not mention in the interview that my favorite comic book characters are all criminals.
I figured that's why you were mentioning. You're like, listen, I read a lot of comics and I love the villains, so I'm in the head. So I'm like, that gives me a leg up. I understand criminal psychology.
Good point. It's a really
I
good
should have
point.
been like, I love Batman. I love Renee Montoya. I love every cop in comic books. Hey, I passed somehow, so who knows?
Here's your Zoe Thorogood Instagram. Is this when you hand her the sweet potato?
That's yeah, that was when she signed my sweet potato and we were talking about it.
And who was recording that?
So that actually was Andrew, who runs the Cadence art group. So he so Cadence is like one of the big art rep groups, and Zoe is one of their like star artists, and he was just like hanging out at that booth. And when I was talking, I guess at some point he just kind of like pulled out his phone and started recording us because she was cracking up. And then she got the video and put it online. So I appreciate that.
Such a great moment. Such a great moment.
Cute.
Yeah, Rahul says great art.
Before we go on real quick, Bar,
Sure.
since you were talking about G. Willow Wilson, Invisible Kingdom, and that art, if people like the art in that, Christian Ward also did the art in Odyssey. That was done with Matt Fraction, and the art is also beautiful here. I mean, if you liked Invisible Kingdom, I honestly think that Odyssey is even a step up and a little bit kind of crazier. It is. It's a little out there. It looks like it's going to be an unfinished project, but it was Matt Fraction and Christian Ward doing a feminist space retelling of the Odyssey.
I found that book very hard to read.
Yep. I kind of like it more as an art book than I do as like
beautiful.
But yeah, and that's why I have the OHC.
Yeah, and it's got that fold out in it, right?
Yeah, first page, and it's in the original issue and it's in the OHC. I'm not going to do both sides because I don't have enough room for it, but this is one side of the fold out. The other side goes that long as well.
Yeah, that book is beautiful, but I just struggled through it. But that's me. Bunk's way more intellectual and smarter in the brain lobe part than I am. I mean, I have no problem admitting that. I'm a dummy. It's okay.
I'm neither gonna agree or disagree with that.
Thank you. Yes. So if you just address the package bar, Jerusalem, but you have to spell it like completely differently.
Yerushalayim. He wrote Yerushalayim in Hebrew.
Yeah.
Like in English Hebrew.
Right. Oh, Patty's saying hi, Bar.
Patty. Hey, Patty.
Hi, how are you?
Where is she?
Whoops, I'm right here.
Hey.
Oh, hi, everybody.
Hey, Patty. Patty, what are your books of the year?
Oh, I can't
Harley
even
Quinn.
think. I'm going to go and actually play with some seniors right now.
Oh, have fun.
I'll see ya. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you, Patty.
I'll ponder that book.
Good, good.
I got a package today. Oh, I don't want to show the. This is from a viewer. I believe this is from YP. I haven't seen YP in the chat, so I haven't opened it yet. But it made it safely, and it's pretty big. So, and also, Mr. Tex sent me a Harley Quinn shirt that I'm going to wear. Maybe I'll wear it tomorrow with my Superman talk with Jessica.
You're gonna make me wait to see it?
Yeah, that's right. That's the only way I can get you to watch is leaving you on a cliffhanger.
No, that's not.
That's what they call the hook.
Yeah, that's right. You have to watch
Blasphemy.
now. So
Lies.
Nick says, Jess, have you listened to your new record yet? I have not. I got in the same package as my Beatles 45. I got the Pale Saints album, and I need to listen to those as soon as possible. But I had such a bad week, and I just recently started feeling better. So I haven't had a chance, but I'm going to. Yeah.
Pale Saints, like 90s Pale Saints?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, love that first album.
I think that's what I got. Yeah. I love that too. Okay. Everybody thought I was talking about Zoe Thorogood when I was not, but I do love Zoe Thorogood. She's not in this batch, but she will be in the final batch. I can promise you that.
Yeah, Zoe, I read It's Lonely last year, and that was part of my, along with Lonely City, that was part of my books of the year last year. So unfortunately, for me, they aren't eligible.
Wait, are we still talking about the books of the year? What books have you mentioned so far?
Just Superman Space Age and 8 Billion Genies.
And
And-
Ivy.
Eatery Space Age.
Yes, you do. It's excellent.
Yeah.
I
and
haven't read it yet.
You're in for a treat. And it can be any book. It could be printed in 2019, but if you read it this year, that to me, that's what I'm gonna. Mine all. No, I think
Can
a couple.
it be a current ongoing?
It doesn't have to be. I mean, your top.
There
I
are
mean,
no rules.
your
There are no
top.
rules.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
However
your
you
top
define
books
it.
are whatever you want them to be. Because well, these next few books did come out this year, but I definitely have some books that came out last year.
Okay, so can I say another one that I really liked?
Absolutely.
I have no reason for why I like this book. It's just it's just a fun book. Like, it's not really a book that is deep or serious. It's Exterminators. It was one of the most fun I've had reading something this year. It's an X book. Yes, this one. So fun. It's just such a random adventure comic about a bunch of dumb girls getting themselves into trouble and trying to get out of it. It's just a lot of stupid fun, basically. It's like
Now, were you impressed with the fact that I could pull it so quickly, like Kristen?
honestly, yes. Like that was a Kristen.
Yeah,
kind of-
I think
kind of
so.
cool.
So, this is an X-Men book, but do I need to know it's Leah Williams, Exterminators 1 through 5?
Have you not read it yet?
No, because I thought maybe it was in current X-Men continuity, which I'm
It's
not up on
kinda
yet.
Is in the Krakoa era, but it's so disconnected from everything.
Oh,
It's very much its own thing. Just a bunch of girls getting themselves into trouble and trying to get out. It's
I
very
like
fun,
that.
very funny. I walked into it not even knowing most of these characters.
Oh, okay. It's
Is that
got
is that an
Jubilee-
ongoing or was that a miniseries?
Just
like
I will after a very specific moment. I wish I could watch you read this series just to see your reaction to a very specific,
Whoa.
very breasty moment in
A what?
in the series.
A breasty
Very-
moment?
Bombasty. Breasty.
Bombastic? What is
Bomb
it? Bomb
breast.
Bombasty.
Oh yeah.
It's got
You'll
Jubilee.
get it when you read it.
It's got Jubilee, Boom Boom, Dazzler, and Laura Kinney, all new Wolverine, and vampires.
Boom boom breasty.
Boom Boom Breasty.
Ever since Next Wave, I love Boom Boom so much.
Oh, she's so great. Boy, the art is good in this too. It's really now. Do I have since you mentioned this? Do I have your permission to read this ahead of some of the Stacks of Shame books?
Go ahead. I need to know how you feel. I know you love it. I just know you'll have fun with this one.
Well, I like Leah Williams'
You
writing,
love
and I
Gwenpool.
love all
It's
these.
kind of a similar tone to Gwenpool. Like it's just pure fun, in my opinion.
Okay, it's on the floor of shame right now. I will read it after this broadcast. Let's see. Chris says, "Hey Jess, hope you're doing well. Peace and love. Thank you." He has Harley as an avatar, so we like him. Are you going to be picking up Punisher Max's reprint next year? I'm not, because I stuck with. Wait, are those aren't the? Yeah, I stuck with the original hardcovers because they were so hard to find. So I'm not going to be getting it since I stuck with the hardcovers, but I highly recommend it. It's both Ennis's Punisher runs are tremendous, and a book that needs to get reprinted is Jason Aaron's Punisher. That was amazing.
Cycle.
I know I'm behind.
What?
Nah,
An
it's
OmniDog
okay.
stream where the chat's behind? What?
It's kind of even funnier if you'll get to it out of context.
The Brain of a Fish, is that one?
No, that's what I called Josh.
Okay. My next pick was Tom King's Gotham City Year One.
Another one I left off my list because I knew you'd be mentioning it.
Phil Hester art, so you know you're going to dig the art. And it tells the story. This is a Slam Bradley story, really, that is getting relayed to Batman on Slam Bradley's deathbed. But it tells the story of Bruce Wayne's grandparents and what happens when Thomas Wayne, Bruce's father, as a baby, goes missing, and Slam Bradley takes it. Gotham's police force is, of course, completely corrupt, and there are several twists and turns here involving his grandparents, who the grandfather is not necessarily an upstanding gentleman, and his wife has got an agenda of her own. It is brilliantly told about Gotham City back in the early days.
Can you show the art bigger?
Yeah, just a sec.
Yeah, get us out of there.
Here we go. Wait, let me turn it away from the microphone so I can show it. And it's really nicely colored, as you can see. There's an underworld that Slam Bradley's connected to that he finds where he's looking for clues. Some clues are red herrings, some clues pay off. But Slam Bradley's a great character to write about. He's such a bare-knuckled. Here he is getting beaten up by the Gotham City police chief. Slam gets the shit kicked out of him in this entire book, and he gets hired by the Waynes to find this baby. Without spoiling it, I will just say there are an enormous amount of twists and turns in this. You don't know who to trust. You're not even sure you can trust Slam. Is he an unreliable narrator or not? But there are several different agendas going on in this book. And Tom King has written something that is compelling. It's a page turner. It is a sprawling crime noir book, I think, in the noirist sense, because everybody's kind of a bad guy in it. And
the art also has very noir feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Good point.
Colored really well for that too.
Yeah. And the color palette really reflects that. Batman's not featured in this much at all. It's really the story of the Waynes, Bruce Wayne's grandparents, and how his father goes missing as a baby, Bruce Wayne's father. So there's no pearls in an alley or anything like that. It's all his grandparents, which I would guess were back in I guess if we're trying to ballpark this in the real world, I would guess this is in the 30s or 40s. But yeah, Phil Hester, rightly so, is a really respected artist. And who is the colorist on this? Jordi Belair. No wonder. Yeah, Jordi Belair is the colorist. And yeah, just the whole thing is brilliantly told. I really dug this book. And you don't have to be a Batman fan to enjoy this book. I mean, if you don't dig Batman, but you dig crime fiction, this is a good book this is perhaps on a future Crime Corner with my new co-host Bunk. I read Noir Burlesque last night, and I'm interested in your thoughts on that, Bunk, for our future Crime Corner. But this is a book that could be on a future Crime Corner. It is just some down and dirty bar brawling.
This is like a Batman book that doesn't really have a lot of Batman or action in it. It's more like a noir mystery thriller kind of book.
Exactly.
I would say it's like closer to Philip Marlowe than it is to Batman. Like it's more of sort of that like twist and turn, crime noir PI novel with the femme fatale that's going out there, and all the cliche trappings than it is like Batman. But it has a lot of echoes, and it sets up a lot of like little pieces, so you get like a little taste of the Court of Owls. Maybe you get sort of the imagery of Bat and Cat sort of fighting for Gotham's soul even long before you get Batman versus Catwoman. Like it does a lot of things to be like, hey, here are the things you like from Batman, but it's not a Batman story.
Is this acting sort of like a prequel, or is it like it recognizes that it's not part of like the main continuity?
I think this could be considered canon. I don't know that it is, but it's got it's got his grandparents, and I don't want to get caught up in what's canon and what's not, but as far as I'm concerned, this is fine as a prequel kind of thing, setting up what his grandparents were like. You don't get into how great his parents were, because it's the baby Thomas that goes missing. But yeah, I as Bunk said, it sets up a lot of things in the future. So I feel like this could be considered a prequel, and okay, it's in canon. Fine. I don't I don't care really, but yeah, it's like Bunk said, it does set up a lot of cool things, while staying very present in its crime noir settings. And as part of those tropes, the private investigator gets the crap beat out of him all the time, which I really like. Whenever you're so invested in a story and just somebody is always beating on the PI and the femme fatale, as Bunk pointed out. Yeah, those are very present in this book.
Is it just one femme fatale?
I don't know. Good point. And who are those femme fatales? How do they figure into this? Is it somebody you might not think would be a femme fatale? I don't know. You're gonna have to read it.
I love it when writers and creators take something that has already existed for so long and is already a part of much bigger universe and manage to write a very self-contained story that can stand completely on its own without disrespecting anything else or anything from the past of these characters. It's hard to do. It's hard to like tell a completely new story that will be also easy for new readers and also fun for old readers that have been reading a lot of comics of these characters. It takes talent and abilities to be able to do that. And
Sounds like you just sold yourself on this book. Because it's everything you just said, and you said it very well. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm adding this to my list.
I think you will be happy then,
Yeah.
based on what you just said. Nice.
So, but how many did you have so far?
He's going on his second one now.
So, all right. So before I do my second one, I actually want to jump 20 minutes back to a comment that Dr. Masum Rana Dewan asked, where they said, since you like Boom Power Rangers so much, how was 2023 for you? I love it.
What time was that?
3:07.
Okay. I'll get it then. Here it is.
I love it, but I don't like it, if that makes any sense. And as weird a statement as that is, I kind of get it. So there's a lot of really, in the mainline Power Rangers, this was a big year. So Ryan Parrott, who had been the longest running author on the series, he started with Go-Go Power Rangers and then switched over to the main title after Kyle Higgins left. He wrote all the way through issue 100. And then Melissa Flores has taken over. She's got a new era. And I like what's happening there a lot, but it's weird because it's like, you think about it, and the entire time she's been on, it's been super high intensity. It's been really, a lot has been happening, but it also feels like not much has happened, but it feels like it's almost like you're staring at an explosion that's coming at you, but in slow motion. And so I kind of get that, where it's like, I like this a lot. Do I like this? I like it. How much do I like it? And like, you kind of think back. And so because of that, Power Rangers is not one of my books of the year. However, what is going to make my list,
what a segue,
is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers crossover Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #2 that came out this year as a crossover from IDW and Boom Studios. So this one's written by Ryan Parrott, who I just mentioned, and is my favorite writer for the series. And really what makes this amazing, I mean, it's a great series, but might be a little tough to see. But that name right under that OmniDog, that says Mora. And yes, it is that.
Dan Mora.
This is a Dan Mora book drawing two of the biggest franchises from the 80s and 90s. And it's just basically the action figure sandbox you wanted it to be, with one of the hottest names in comics right now. And
I highlighted you, so show us some of the art there, big guy.
I'm trying to, but the glare, it's not really like picking up. Let me see if I can get.
I don't know that I'm seeing glare. Let's see.
I'm trying to find. I know that there's a. Okay, here we go.
Yep. Oh,
Like,
all
just
right. Yeah.
look at that. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
He's so good.
He's like, we are lucky to have it. And then like you get right before that, this really cool scene of the DeLuca effect where they're going up and down through these stairs, and they're going through, and you get Rocksteady and Goldar hanging out. And in addition to, like, this is at its heart. It's a let's play with all of these toys in the same sandbox, and they do it really well. But there's actually some like really heartfelt moments between Zordon and Splinter where they talk about sort of what the role of a mentor is, what the role of a father is to a team in a setting like this. You know, what they're sort of asking their de facto children to do for the greater good, and how no parent should have to do that. And just, you also get these amazing covers by Dan Mora, or you get this homage cover where this is the TMNT #1 classic cover, but with the Power Rangers, or you get this amazing Turtles in Time cover. So it's a 16-bit beat 'em up, but this time it's with the Power Rangers. And it's just, this is such a love letter to both of the franchises through everything. You get the Turtles morphing into Power Rangers with great designs. You get the Power Rangers turning into mutants with great designs. You get characters, doing things from the other universe that shouldn't necessarily be doing it. And it was just one of the absolutely most fun books I read. Every time I picked up an issue, I just had a smile right across my face. And it was just so fun and surprisingly poignant at times. But I did not have more fun with a book this year than I did with Power Rangers TMNT 2.
That's so fun when it happens, right? When you just find that one story, that one book, that one comic that just makes you smile.
Absolutely.
And then you go into depression when you finish it, because you're like, there's no other book that will make me feel like this again.
Well, this is the second series of this. So they did it the first time around. That was with Simone DeMeo doing art. Simone DeMeo from We Only Find Them When We're Dead fame, and the new Batman. Yep, there's that deluxe right there. So honestly, I'm sad it's not happening anymore, but I'm excited to see what's going to happen from here, because this was another big smash hit series. I think it's all but guaranteed we get a MMPR TMNT #3, and they'll have another awesome artist on that one. Love to get Dan Mora back. Probably not going to happen, but they'll get someone, who will also be great and give their own spin to it. So I loved it when I had it. I'm going to smile because it happened. I'm not going to cry because it's over.
Nice, Dr. Seuss. Very nice.
You're better than me.
Well, Dan Moore is also cranking out World's Finest Batman Superman.
And he's on the new Shazam title.
Oh, that's right.
With Mark Waid.
Yeah. Usually artists that good are always, months behind, but he is somehow
he's cranking up that work.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't, I hadn't picked, I was just amazed that he was keeping up with World's Finest. I didn't know that he was doing 2 other things.
How many comics is he working on at the moment? Like, I feel like I see him everywhere.
I think for like interiors, he's just on the 2, but he's also on a million covers because everyone loves the Dan Mora cover. Although, no, did he have a Superman title? Chat, is he on one of the Superman titles, or was he on one of the relaunched Superman titles?
Maybe, no. I don't know. Maybe Action Comics. Not on the main Superman that I know.
He's not drawing Warworld.
It's the one who did
I don't think he's doing Tom Taylor's Superman or Super Kid.
The art of the current Superman is beautiful as well. Jamal Campbell is doing the art on Superman, I believe.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking, because Jamal Campbell's another one I love from back in Far Sector, and actually Jamal Campbell used to do the cover A's on the mainline Power Rangers and was excellent there too. So anytime we get Jamal Campbell on interiors is a good time.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He was like the main reason why I started reading that Superman series, and it's really good, actually.
Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking of.
Let's see. We welcome Hayden to the show. How you doing, Hayden? Good to have you. Josh, you really need to read Next Wave.
You would love Next Wave. Like
Agents
you're
of
gonna
Hate.
read it, and you're gonna have a Patreon post about like how this book was like made for you, and like you're gonna like assume it as an identity. Just go out and read it. Just skip all that other
I
stuff.
just remembered my YouTube icon is a Denmora artwork. I just now remembered that.
Oh, of Harley?
That's yeah, my Harley.
Oh yeah, that's right. I have that. I just got that this year. Shoot, I just lost my train of thought. Rats.
sorry.
No, that's okay.
Next Wave, Agents of
Next
Hate.
Wave, yeah.
Josh?
Thank you. No, Next Wave. That's a book I should have picked for that Thursday night show that I just did with Very Fine Condition on what should be always evergreen.
It's
Because I think
weirdly out of
Next Wave-
print now.
Yeah, because it's out of print and it's one of the best books that I've read from Marvel. That is a good point. I should.
The only
picked that.
The only problem is because it
Wait,
was Warren Ellis that wrote it. It's
Right.
that's a little bit of a tough sell, but sort of on it and the fact that it's all D-list heroes. But that's one I recommend up and down. I love that book.
Which
And
comic
Yeah.
are we talking about?
Next Wave, Agents of Hate. Bunk's going to get it. I have it on the other side here. Yeah, you can read it on Marvel Unlimited. So
yeah, however you can it's Stuart Eminem doing the art, and I adore Stuart Eminem. And yeah, it's got Boom Boom. It's got your girl Boom Boom. Breasty bombs or bomby breasts or it is a little topical of the time. So like there's a point where Elsa Bloodstone is wearing this shirt and says, "Do you think this E on my chest stands for America?" Which is directly making fun of a moment from Ultimates 1 when Cap says, "Do you think this A on my head stands for France?" So when you're reading it 20 years later and you don't remember that happened, it might be like, I don't really get that, but I guess it's kind of a funny line. But
it's got Boom Boom and Elsa in it.
It's got Monica Rambeau, who is now, part of the Marvels. It's got all of these different, splash pages or spread pages going next to each other. It's another one of those books that's just one of the most fun you'll have with comics.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Is Boom Boom Breasts one of her abilities? If so,
I'm gonna have to read Exterminators. I may just start right now because I want to know what this is a reference to. I always thought she was just blowing.
I mean,
bubble gum
that's
and
something she does on the regular. I'll read more of her comics after this.
Let's see. Gonna read Gotham City tonight. Awesome, Elon. Hut Destroyer. That was probably while I was talking about Gotham City 1. Yeah. Okay. Gotham Year One. Sorry, Gotham City Year One. Tom King firing on all cylinders. Wonder Woman and Penguin are so good. I got the first issue of Wonder Woman because of the art germ cover. And I also got the first issue of Birds of Prey because of the art germ cover. Although I don't collect singles. And I am again lying. Off topic. Chris says, off topic, but I'm quickly becoming a huge fan of Marco Cicchetto's art. Can't wait to see him and Hickman team up for Spider-Man next year. I think I mispronounced Cicchetto. I think it's somebody else can correct me.
Cicchetto?
I feel like
I've heard it both ways. I don't know that anyone actually knows at this point.
Okay. Yeah, it's like the Lindbergh kidnapping. And this is talking about Gotham City Year One. The color palette reminded me of Darwin Cook's Parker. Not every page, but a few of them. Yeah, it was really well done. Terry just got another commercial at 3:28. But when we're all talking like this, I don't see how I could figure out when to do like a 10-second silent period. And so I don't know. I mean, we'll as we get used to it, maybe we can figure it out.
Make Omar figure it out for his live streams and then just do whatever he does.
Who?
That guy that just gave away a whole bunch of comics. Omar.
I never watched that channel.
Yeah, but just steal his solution. Make him do the work, and then whatever he finds is the best way to do it, just steal the answer.
Okay, I'll think about that.
That was my entire 12 years in school.
And yet, this is who's going to be a cop.
That's right. Patrolling the streets. Subscribe to Bunk. His channel's so good.
Oh, thanks, Elon.
Need the Power Rangers reading order, Bunk.
I'm working on that. Don't make reading order videos. They are way more work than they seem. I've got the script written. I'm recording the VO as I'm still doing that. Every time I would try and do it, I also just want to spend time with my wife and family. So blame them. It's not my fault. It's their fault.
It is their fault. Yeah. Lots of people like Dan Mora's art. I want Mora Dan's art. Elon with the pun. Wow. He's an amazing artist. This is complimenting your segue, which was really good. Turtles. Is Power Rangers even good after Higgins? I stopped after Shattered Grid.
William Lee, I would argue Power Rangers, immediately after Shattered Grid, it takes a little bit of a dive when Marguerite Bennett comes on for Beyond the Grid. That you can probably skip. But when you go to the Necessary Evil arc that Ryan Parrott takes on, I think that's some of the best that the series has ever been. I think the series worked really well with Kyle Higgins coming in and sort of doing the heavy lifting on the world building for the new sort of lore of the current Power Rangers universe. And then that allows Ryan Parrott to come in and tell some of the best character stories about the particular Rangers using that kind of coasting off of that. So I think they worked really well together. So yes, the Power Rangers comics are still excellent after Higgins goes. Maybe just skip Beyond the Grid, though. That you don't need to read that.
Let's see. I think this is the Power Rangers thing. Is it on Hoopla?
No, I
think that's Next Wave. That
that was Next Wave.
Yeah, because James comes down and says yes, it is on Hoopla. So
okay, we're talking about Next Wave.
So everyone knows Hoopla. If you haven't read Next Wave, go out and read it. If you have read Next Wave, go out and read it again.
Stuart Immonen, Sarah Pichelli. I miss having regular interiors by them.
So Immonen is actually on interiors right now for Empress with Mark Millar. So you don't have to miss Immonen on interiors.
And I think Sarah Pichelli is doing the Scarlet Witch book, which I think isn't Sarah Pichelli doing that? I feel like she's doing the first few issues of the new Scarlet Witch book that turned out so well, surprising everyone.
That actually leads me to a question for both of you guys. Are there artists that you think are better at doing covers than interiors, like specific artists that you really loved their cover artwork but did not like how they did interior art? Because that's very, very different.
That's a good question.
So the first person that comes to mind with me, and I'm going to say a name, and it's going to be more sort of like a genre of art, and I think it's Matt Mayhew is the name, the guy that did the art of like the beginning sections of Joker Harley Criminal Sanity. I think
Mike Mayhew. Yeah.
Mike. I think that the sort of hyper realistic things that he does lend themselves really well to sort of a cover where it's like a static image. You're not necessarily trying to establish motion or tell a story throughout a page. And I think for something like that, it works well. And then when I was just like reading through it, I don't know if it was like necessarily Uncanny Valley, but it almost reminded me a little bit of like someone like taking pictures and like trying to like tell a story through there. And it was like very sort of like moments in time that kind of took me out of it a little bit.
I agree with
and so I would say I use him as an example, but things like a lot of the hyper realistic people that we look at, so like someone like a Nathan Zerdy. I've never seen interior art from Zerdy, but I wouldn't want to.
Okay.
I have Jenny Friesen. Like, she's a fantastic cover art, but I don't think, at least with the style that she does, I don't think it'll be good for like an interior art type. Jenny Friesen.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say her name.
Yeah,
I don't.
we were
have
talking
we-
before about how pretty she makes her
Yeah.
people on her covers. Yeah.
I am not even aware of interiors by her.
I don't think she does interiors. Maybe she's
Okay.
more of a cover artist.
Yeah.
I love self-awareness, but when it comes with Joker / Harley, I feel like they were trying to give you that kind of feeling that you said it made you feel like it was a story told by pictures. I feel like that's what they were going for, and that's also probably why they got this very specific artist for this goal. But it's not for everyone. I admit that it also took me out of that out of the series. It's a good series, but yeah, it's hard for me when in comics where it's supposed to be such a I want to say cartoony, but it's not supposed to remind you of real life. So when it has something that looks like photographs, it's kind of like, whoa, So I agree with you on that.
We just got Doug tuning in. I just tuned in and got boom boom breasts right off the bat. Today is a good day. Let's see. I have
in the replies, and that's also
there we
good.
Go. Boom time. There we go. And I saw Illuminerdi up here. Hey, Illuminerdi, what up, dude?
What's going on, Tyler?
Talked about OmniDog's about to talk about it. It is a long title. Yes, I will talk about it. I'm going to let Bar go because I got to go upstairs and get some of my meds that I need real quick. Oh, here's Javier. Thanks for tuning in, buddy.
And real quick, speaking of talking about We Only Find Them When We're Dead, if anyone would like to know more about the series and the hardcover, they can actually head on over to Illuminerdi's channel where he put up an overview of the new hardcover video yesterday. So if you're wondering about the series or the build of that book, go check out Tyler's video. Real good.
Yeah, I'm going to do, I read 2 science fiction books back to back, and I'm going to do reviews of them because they were both so good. And now that I'm feeling better, I need to get going on making my review of We Only Find Them When They're Dead. So Bar, why don't you talk about your third while I run upstairs and get my meds so I don't flip out here, and I will mute my mic.
I have to say, I had to think in my head about all these my favorite books, so it's probably it might not even be accurate. It's just
that's what this is supposed to be about.
But it's something that I recommended Rahul not long ago. It's Secret Six Villains United by Gail Simone. It's the 11 issue, I think, miniseries that came out before the ongoing. So this one doesn't have like Bane in it. I haven't read the ongoing yet. But have you read it?
I read her original Secret Six that she did back when that was like Infinite Crisis era. But is this is a new series that she's doing?
No, this is from the early 2000s with
like like the one that was like one of the tie-ins. Infinite Crisis was like my favorite event. I was buying every tie-in for that one. So yeah, I love Gail Simone, and that was great.
Was that? I think that was post-crisis. I think it was early 2000s.
So it started off Villains United. There were 4 main series that led into Infinite Crisis. There was Day of Judgment, there was the OMAC Project, Rand Thanagar War, and there was Villains United. So there was there was a mini series, and all like that carried 4 of the threads that Infinite Crisis took. And then from Infinite Crisis, I think that was like the one that had done well enough that they spun that out, and then they turned Day of Judgment into the Shadow Pact series that came from there. But yeah, that series is great.
I'll say it already. I have not read neither Crisis or any of the big DC crises.
Well, this
Or-
one was Infinite Crisis, not Crisis on
no,
Infinite
yeah.
Earths, which sounds similar, but they're different.
So yeah, exactly. This is confusing. So I generally do not care about all these big events that they're doing. I heard that it's really good though. Same for Infinite Crisis on Infinite Earths, Crisis on Infinite Earths. Um, but yeah, the Gail Simone Secret Six series that came before the ongoing. I had so much fun with this. I did not think I was going to like this. I mean, I know I like bad guys in comics, but I don't know. I did not think I was going to enjoy this at all. But man, I forgot just how charming Gail Simone's writing is. That even like there were a lot of parts when I was like, oh, this is so 2000s, so early 2000s in a lot of those parts. If I'll tell to the people in the chat, if you're easily offended by language and stereotypes, personally, there's a lesbian character there. There were definitely a lot of stereotypes there and some some unpleasant language, but it didn't bother me that much. I feel like it's probably because I had the context of the year that it came out, that it was probably more accepted at the time, so it didn't bother me as much. But if anyone in the chat it bothers them, so maybe still try to check this out. But yeah, this is a really really great series. Gail Simone is a very very talented writer, and she knows how to write charming characters. Like she knows how to write a-holes that are charming. And these people are a-holes, especially Deadshot. So yeah, I fully recommend it. I had a lot of good time. I read this all of the 11 issues in like 2 days. Had a lot of great time.
Yeah, of the lead-in series to Infinite Crisis, that one was by far my favorite, and that was one I continued to pick up after Infinite Crisis stopped going through. Like that one, loved it.
And have you read the ongoing that came afterwards?
So there were, and Jess, I feel like you talked about this recently. Wasn't there like 2 Villains United series, or it was like there was a season 2, or like they did something with it where like they kind of reshuffled the team?
Excuse me. After the initial Secret Six, there was a new 52 Secret Six that was like 2 trades.
Oh wait, I'm thinking, yeah, because Villains United was the mini, and then Secret Six was the one that came. Okay.
Yeah, Secret Six, what you're talking about? I thought that's what you were talking about.
Yeah,
Yes.
and in my mind, I was just equating that like equals Villains United, whereas like that was what like touched it all off.
Yeah, Villains United is the book that starts that first Secret Six run, which I think is 5 or 6 volumes, and then the Rebirth one is still by Gail Simone. It's not quite as good. I still enjoyed it, but that first one that's getting an omnibus, which is amazing and totally deserves it. Yeah, that first chunk of Secret Six is great.
Yeah.
Does the omnibus include Villains United or just the ongoing?
The first book is Villains United.
No, the omnibus that is releasing, does it include both the miniseries and the ongoing?
I feel like it would have to.
I would think
that's
it
the
would have
birth
to
of the
because
team.
yeah, that's the birth of the team. Yeah, I would think it would have to.
And you don't really need to like read the Crisis event in order to understand the ongoing series that came afterward.
No. Rising Phoenix here. I've gotten a few commercials, but plan to boycott their products and never buy just for interrupting my most favorite comic authority, OmniDog, who has on 2 other comic authorities in my Israeli correspondent Bar and BunkMasta B.
Ooh.
I don't. Oh, this is back when we're talking about interiors. Adam Hughes. He likes Adam Hughes. And he's also saying J. Scott Campbell, Frank Cho. I love all their art, but they lack storytelling chops like some others have. I would argue that Betty and Veronica by Adam Hughes has interior art by Adam Hughes. It is hilarious and really well done. That was one of my favorite series. I don't know, whenever I read it back in 2000. Everything seems like it was 2019. I don't have any memory of 2020 or 2021, but that was a really well told story that was hilarious. I had no idea he had such a great sense of humor. Oh, we've got a lot of people naming artists and their interiors. Let's see. Did you already? Luminardi sending love your way. Bunk, if you can, please show everyone the art of Mighty Morphin 2020 #1 interiors. The entry of the new Green Ranger is phenomenal, up there with shattered grid shooting stars spread art. I understood none of that except for Bunk. But that's totally cool because he seems to have it right at hand with the Kristen pull. Oh, it's a floppy. Okay. Look at him having the floppy issue right there. That's amazing.
The only reason I have this on hand is I have not cleaned up since I did my Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Deluxe Edition overview. So I still have all of those nearby.
You don't have to. Don't make up excuses.
I mean,
just say
yeah, no,
you have great pull ability.
Oh, it's
great pull ability.
Ruin it.
Yeah.
All right. So I think what we're talking about. So first off, before we do anything, every time there's a new series, we have to get the iconic shot of the characters morphing. So, that's the team right there. And then I think the shot that Dr. Masum is talking about is this sweetness right there. Like just look at that. Look at that right there. Come on, camera. Focus on this. There we go.
There we go.
Look at that. Look at that. How good does that look right there?
Who's the artist again?
So this is, I believe, Marco Renna. Yeah, Marco Renna. Yeah. There's when this series was happening, because this is when the title splits into Mighty Morphin is one series and Power Rangers is another. Mighty Morphin tells the sort of main Ranger team and gets, I think, the better artist, but I think the more interesting story happens over in Power Rangers. So better art in this one, better story in Power Rangers.
It's interesting that you pronounce this Dr. Masum. I was always just calling him MD Masum, but I like Dr. Masum better.
Yeah. Either they are a doctor or they probably get a kick out of being referred to a doctor. So either way, I'm up.
Jess will hate me. We only find them felt like a normie version of Neon Genesis Evangelion philosophically. I lost you after we only find them. Normie Neon Genesis, what philosophically? Okay, dude. I don't hate you at all. Everything is subjective. We all read. Well, I'll talk about it right now. I found this.
Oh, that's when they're dead. Yeah.
Yeah, and what they find when they're dead. This is set in the future, and what they are finding, it's set way in the future, and what they're finding is dead gods, and they're out in space, and it's a race to whoever can claim the best parts of the god because they laser them off and use them as currency. And so they only find the dead gods. I mean, they only find the gods when they're dead. But it's so much more than that. They're what? First of all, I can see why Bunk loves Simone DeMille's art because it's remarkable in this. The layouts are just gorgeous, and the coloring's gorgeous too. What there's a lot going on in this book, and I need to do a proper review of it. I'm going to need to go over it again. But it's told in kind of it one thing. Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. Huh? Oh, sorry. What one of the prospectors wants to find is a live god, and what happens when they do. But there's also a religion set up over. I'll have to say this in the review. It's because I can't do a review without telling it. There's an explorer, a space explorer who is out looking for a live god. He disappears and then he shows up as a dead god.
I did not realize you were going to just put that out there, but yeah, that number 6 cliffhanger right there, like, because I was reading this in the individual issues, like I was like, wait, what is that? Is that what?
Yeah, well, there's a religion that's set up around him, and an authoritarian regime religion is set up around him. I don't see how I could review it without actually saying that, because that's the kind of the center of the story. But it's also told in time flips, so you have to be willing to give yourself over to it, because every few pages you'll go forward in time or back in time, but it's not jarring. It helps inform the narrative. It helps inform the narrative of what happens in the very, very beginning, but it helps inform the narrative of what's happening right away in the book. And it's a kind of a treatise on authoritarian regimes, a treatise on religion, on what's actually out there, man's desire to explore and to know what his place is in the universe, man's desire to know more of the universe. I feel like this is really big science fiction with really big ideas, and that Al Ewing is the type of writer. Everybody can see it in Immortal Hulk, but this is not like Immortal Hulk at all. But Al Ewing has the capability of telling these really big, because it's a big idea, and he tells it really well, I thought. But I am going to have to go over it again so I can give it a proper review, because I meant to do it 2 months ago, but then I started, feeling like I felt. But it is unbelievably a large concept science fiction book that is it really about the dead gods? Is it really about trying to find a live god? Or is it really about man's search for identity in the universe? I mean, it covers a lot of topics, and not broadly, but and I'm not going to give any more of a reveal than that, because that would be spoiling the book. But I just found this to be remarkable from a reader's standpoint, because I always am what I find compelling is when the twists and turns add to the narrative, and they're not just put in there for some kind of almost red herring thing, but when they add to the narrative as well as the twists and turns did in this, you don't know who to trust. You don't know what the real truth is until you get to the end of the book, and then the end of the book made me sit there for a while and think. And I went back and reread the ending, the last few pages. I went back to the beginning so I could see how the beginning really tied into the whole thing. I just found this to be an incredible experience. It moved me and kept me interested, and it kept me wanting to know more. That there are a lot of characters to keep track of in this book, and you have to be willing to go back and forth with the time flips, because there are so many characters, but the time flips help inform who the characters are and what their place in the story is. And also you can see through that character, I don't want to say character growth, but you get fuller characterization of what these people are capable of. So yeah, 100%. I have to get on doing my review for that. I'm glad Illuminati did an overview of it. I think he and I actually haven't talked to him about it because I don't want to know how he feels before I do my review. But I'm glad he did an overview. I was did James already put up Illuminati's channel?
I don't know that he did.
Okay.
But
well,
of course,
I think
everyone here is already subbed. So, I mean, everybody already knows, you know.
Oh, and here's Omni Nation. What up, Omni Nation?
What's up, Day Day?
Good to see you. Dr. Masoom, you know what I love? 52. I also love 52. 52 is a phenomenal read. In my defense, I was a teenager then. No, I thought it was a great concept. To take the big three out of the entire DC lineup through through 52, and then what followed. I mean, 52 is what followed. But I loved 52. That's a book I need to reread.
52 was one I read weekly when it was coming out, and it was such an amazing reading experience. You know, at that point, trades were still kind of like a little bit of an anomaly. So it was very much sort of carrying that narrative. And I remember just like people talking about it and having the ideas about like what's going to be happening and what's moving forward. Yeah, 52, very special place in my heart.
I agree. I know a lot of people like Infinite Crisis the best, but I am enough of a DC fanboy that I slogged through everything, including Final Crisis, which is not a Grant Morrison book I recommend, except for like the last part where Batman disappears or is killed. Sorry, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, he comes back. But I mean, I'm enough of a DC fanboy that I do read those events, but 52 is highly readable for somebody that's not even well versed in DC Comics. Just as Bunk said, that's when I was reading it too, was through floppies. And you're right, we didn't know what was going to happen week to week. It was 52 weeks without the big three, and you're like, what's going to be happening here? How are you taking them out, and where are they going with this? So I thought it was a interesting risk for DC to take, but it was really well done.
There was also
guys got to experience it like in real time, like to read it weekly as it was coming out.
Yeah. There was also a super, super impactful moment for there that was impactful enough for me 15 years later that I included it in my 5 horror or scary moments in non-horror comics videos that I put out to end Halloween with. It like when I was making that video, I was like, I had this vague recollection. I was trying to come back, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, no, that one's got to go in." Jess,
Yeah.
do you have an idea of like what I'm talking about here?
I sort of have a vague idea, but I don't think I really remember specifically what you're talking about. I mean, you can send me a direct message or a
Here,
private message
I'll send you a
or
Discord message
text me or
here.
something, and then I'll remember. I do want to highlight this. A-holes that are charming is how Bar got me interested in wanting to read Secret Six. Yeah, recommend the Secret Six Omnibus because that's going to be an important book for people to buy just because it will show DC they made the right choice. That because everybody's loved Secret Six and has always wanted it in an Omni, and then all of a sudden DC gives it to us. That sort of what gives me hope that the DC collected editions department actually has their act together now and really wants to put out things that people really want to read.
Just sent that over to you, Jess. But yeah, 52. I will always get behind people experiencing 52. Bar, did you read that in Omni form?
I have not. I have not read it at all.
Oh,
Wait, where did you send it?
On Discord. Renee Montoya
Oh.
is one of the main characters in it, and you just name checked her a little bit ago. So
Yeah. Oh, I love Renee Montoya.
yeah, me too.
I think I have like an issue or two, like random issues from it, but no, I have not read it.
Oh, yeah. I forgot all about that moment. Wow, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like a spoiler that I can't?
Yes, it is a huge spoiler.
Yeah, you don't want to know.
No.
But yeah, I mean, those kind of C and B list characters that things happen to throughout the run is what made it so interesting.
I kind of want DC to try to do something like this again.
Oh, they did. It was called Countdown, and then they renamed it to Countdown to Infinite Crisis, and it was awful. Or Countdown to Final Crisis.
Right now, and specifically with Batman. Like how would Gotham look without Batman and stuff like that? Like a whole year of releases with no Batman.
I mean, you kind of had that for a while with No Man's Land.
Mm-hmm.
Shall I remind you how old I am and when did I?
Yeah, I don't even. Were you even born when No Man's Land was out? I don't think so. You were born in what? 2000? That was a '90s series. Yeah, that's a good point.
So I'm talking about like right now in 2023, 2024.
That's what I kind of wish, and I know nobody agrees with this, but that's where I kind of wish they had gone. They let Tom King go with his Batwoman and Catwoman. Sorry, well, that's a good series, Batwoman and Catwoman. But Batman and Catwoman, like I wanted to know what would it look like if they actually had gotten married. Like, what would the honeymoon look like? What would he be like in the first 2 weeks of domestic life? I wanted them to really stretch it out and say, can Batman relax on a beach with a drink with the love of his life? Catwoman was given so much personality in that run, and I liked how, and I know a lot of people don't like this, but this is my channel, so I'm going to say what I like. I liked how they let Batman just relax enough to go to the county fair and enough to play in the baseball game and just to humanize him a little bit, because Morrison came up with the Bat God name for him and creating almost a godlike Batman. But I was interested in that bit where maybe he could be just brought down a second. Could he let the Bat family take care of Gotham, and he could actually see what love was like, since he's been, alone his whole life, he feels, even though he keeps grabbing orphans off the street to make them, put them in danger. Um, I really wanted them to let Tom King run with that and see what it would be like. Is he doing the dishes? Is he helping her with the baking? Are they going out every night? What's it like? I wish that's what I would wish for.
The cow at all times. He goes
Yeah,
with the cow.
yeah. I think there's I feel like there was a cover recently for like the swimsuit specials or something where it's Batman with the cowl and cape and just like all buffed out on the beach.
Yeah.
There's a version of. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Bar.
Oh, sorry. Did I?
No, you're fine.
Oh, sorry. So speaking of Catwoman, this is a great segue to my next pick.
Very good.
And I would say this is also kind of like showing what would happen to a Gotham with no Batman in it, in a way. Have you read it? I know that Jess has read it.
Yeah, that was one of my books of the year last year. I talked about it on NMC's year-end video last year because that was one.
Oh, was that your choice? Okay.
I cheated and made 3 of them, but yeah, actually, yeah.
I stuck to one book, you bastard.
Yeah, you went like 3 times as long as I did, so it all evened out.
Oh, that's true.
But yeah, and actually, to toot my own horn, I wrote an article about that, and Cliff Chang tweeted it out as an advertisement for the FOC for the last issue. He was like, "Hey, you guys, FOC is coming. Please order this. From what this guy is saying is the best Catwoman series of all time. I better stick the landing."
Wow.
And it was like, and he actually he said, "I better stick the landing," which was like specifically a phrase that I had used at the end of that. I was like, oh, no, he didn't just look at it and say like, "Oh, this guy said a thing," but he was like, he actually read it and in turn, I was like, "Oh,
you should have got a blurb on the back of the book."
I'm saying.
That's amazing.
I have a screen cap of it very specifically for that, but
that's so cool.
I'm pretty sure Cliff Chang and I are best friends now.
I'm surprised he's not living in your house.
He could be. I just heard somebody come back. It might just be Cliff letting himself in.
Well, good. He has his own key.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay,
yeah,
Bar.
So I got to this book quite late. Like, I heard so much about it. There was so much hype as it was coming out. I don't know why. Maybe I just didn't have the time, but at the time I did not pay any attention to the series. And then Josh read that series, and he was like, "You will like this." Like, I don't tend to like. I never listen to Josh, so you have to understand just how convincing it was. He's still, I think he's still trying to understand how he did it to try to sell me manga. It's not gonna work again, but this time I am happy. The first and last time that I listened to Josh, and I'm happy because this is a great run. And I mean, Cliff Chang, I always knew that he's a good artist. This is the first time. I don't know if he wrote anything before this, but this is the first time I read anything he wrote. And I'm like, if he writes even half as good as he draws, then this is going to be fantastic. And yeah, it's fantastic. As I said, it's also my personal favorite Catwoman run. And as someone who loves Batman but kind of longs to see a Gotham that focuses on the other characters in a world that doesn't necessarily have Batman in it, I'm very intrigued by that idea. This book kind of scratched that itch for me in a way, and it did so great. I did not think I will care for some of these specific characters, and it made me cry about them.
It's the best Killer Croc that like has ever been written.
Right? The best. And I did not think I'll ever care about him as a character because he's Killer Croc. But man, he was written so well in this. Every single character in this. And also, I gotta say, the character designs in this are fantastic. I love how Selena definitely looks like the age that she's supposed to look, but still looks very recognizable.
Mm-hmm.
I like this white line that she has. Looks very cool. Yeah, it's just very, very good. Nothing bad to say about this. So
yeah, it's an
y'all
A
should
plus.
rate this one.
I loved the Gotham that it just set up. Like, in addition to like the amazing redesigns and kind of taking them through, like just the Gotham itself with like the super gentrified and like the Captain Cold Brew and that series where it's like, you know, they go and it's like $20 for a scone. The lingonberries are organic, and then like you get that, and then on the opposite side you get Ma Hunkle's bar where it's like all the old D-list you know, villains are hanging out. You get the sneaker shop where, you know, they have the retro 89 Bat Force ones, and just like there's so much clever heart that's put into it. Like, I love that story, but I would love to see like another Lonely City story come out of that. Like, it doesn't even need to be Catwoman, doesn't need to be sort of the young protege she takes on. Like, I want to spend more time in that Gotham.
Yeah. Although it seems somehow it's supposed to be the more peaceful Gotham, but it manages to be a scarier Gotham
Right.
than the usual one.
More authoritarian.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting yelled at about Final Crisis. Identity Crisis should not even be read. No one should read Identity Crisis. That wasn't even a crisis. That was Drek. Ugh.
That was my puberty.
Okay, that's fair. Dr. Elevator loves Final Crisis. Okay, maybe I was too hard on it.
Peace and love, I do not.
Yeah, but I'm glad you do, Dr. Elevator. You didn't even finish your sentence, apparently, and he came up with this link: 5 scary moments from non-horror comics. What a great idea that I'm going to steal. That is really good.
Go for it. That was I was proud of that video. I really enjoyed that one.
And the MD stands for Muhammad.
Oh, okay.
It's just shorthand for that.
Well, are you also a Dr. Mohammed?
His dad is, apparently, he said.
No.
Trick is to be charming, noted for future reference. Just keep that in your pocket, Cycle. Oh yeah, Dr. Elevator's right. A Jonah Hex Omni All-Star Western and Jonah Hex, they both need. Yeah, those trades are hard to track down, and they were the New 52 Jonah Hex All-Star Western, and then the Jonah Hex before that. Yeah, those, you're 100% right, Dr. Elevator. That's what we really need. Also, just thanks for telling Lars about Discord. The work from Mad Norwegian has helped me with my ADHD and OCD, and you have no idea how hard that can be coupled with clinical depression. I am going to screenshot this and send it to Lars because I don't think he knows. I don't think he knows that. I definitely don't think he knows that, how important it is. And it's super important for a creator of something like that to know. Also, that'll help him join my Discord, but that's secondary to that. That is an amazing compliment that I have to send to Lars. He's still sort of, unless he's already joined, I haven't checked. I don't think he does a whole lot on social media. He was not aware of what Discord was, and I explained to him that it's very easy, that even if I can do it, he can do it. So
you explaining Discord to someone you found out 2 weeks ago that the little people in the corner are private messages.
Yeah, I figured it out finally. Just by pressing buttons around everywhere. Like, wait, where did my private discussion go with Bar? How do I get back to it? Is it this button? Oh no, now I'm in Nitro Vision or whatever. Yeah, I know that I didn't tell him how to work it. I just said it's easy, relatively easy for him to learn. I didn't want to scare him away from it. But I mean, this is an amazing compliment, Mohammed or MD, doctor, to, to for somebody to say that will mean a lot to Lars, even if he doesn't join the Discord. That's the kind of feedback that, sometimes I get, people emailing me things like this, and that gives a creator of any kind of content a huge boost, because they know they're not just screaming into the void, that even if one person says something like that will have an effect on Lars. I guarantee that will have an incredible impact on him. So thank you for saying that. That is really important, and it's important for you to be able to come out and say that. This is a phrase that gets made fun of a lot, but I like to say it because I really do feel like my channel is a safe space. I know that phrase gets beaten up a lot, but I only want my channel to be full of people that treat each other like they want to be treated. So and as far as I can tell, that's what my viewership is made of. Because I get tons of people always saying, "Hope you're feeling better. How are you doing?" I don't know these people. YP just sent me a package. I've never met YP, and he's kind enough to send me a gift. But for you to feel comfortable enough to say that, I think says everything I've ever wanted. Actually, I didn't even know what I was getting into when I started the channel, but now I know that the sense of having a community where you feel comfortable enough to say that means everything to me. So thank you for saying that. And I'll make sure he sees that.
Josh is saying, this is not a safe space. I get called a fish brain by a host.
Well, it's a safe space for some of us.
For everyone but Josh Greathouse.
Oh, and this is true. Elon has sent me Discord for Dummies. That's right. You need to send me an updated one. He sent me one about 2 months ago, and it was called Discord for Dummies. And I'm like, okay, I have to download something here. Okay. No, he hasn't joined Discord yet. Okay. Yeah, Elon did send me Discord for Dummies. So yeah, I do need an updated one. Okay, that's great. That is really great. Jonna, I have that right here.
Did you get
that
the?
I want to read?
Oh, you got the slipcase version. Oh, I was so tempted by that.
Why didn't you get it? You still can.
I
Can't
still
you?
can, but I have family that costs money and things, and I'm trying
Oh,
to spend.
don't say your family when we know it's original art and single issue.
I mean, there's the single issues, not so much. It's basically original art.
It's original art. Yeah. Okay. Well, your priorities are your priorities.
I did just get the notification that I do need to start getting ready to go. We do have some evening plans, so if it's
we have been on for 3.5 hours.
Yeah, just if it's cool, I'll just kind of go real fast through my last 3, if that's all right with you guys.
Yeah. Why don't you do that, and then I'll revisit. Well, first of all, I have to just show this off for Tony, who originally recommended it to me. Tony from Sweden. This is one of my books of the year.
Oh,
I will talk
you guys
more
can
about
keep going. I was gonna say I'll just do like my thing and then like jump off, and you guys still have books to do. Don't let my going stop this for you.
My sister went to sleep, and so I need to keep quiet here.
Yeah, I think this is probably an organic, but I promised Tony that I would mention that one of his suggestions had made it to the top. So Tony, I will speak in depth about this when I do my top 10 of the year. So yeah, why don't you just tell us what you got, and we'll make this an organic ending
right.
to a wonderful
One
series.
here. So we'll do his last three, then mine. Have you finished yours?
Yeah, for now. I mentioned Days of Sand. I'll mention the other one was Black Cat, and James can put up my link to the Black Cat Omnibus review. Also, the link to why you should buy the Black Cat Omnibus review. Thank you, James. I would defer to my co-host because I always have hot air in me to blow out. It's no worries.
Well, shoot, I wasn't trying to like end you guys. I was just trying to say like, hey, I got to jump, out of here real quick. So I'll say my stuff, get out of here. You guys can keep talking, but I don't want to keep your sister up either, Bar. So,
BunkMasta be Catwoman is having her best year ever, and you're probably missing it. You were interviewed on Comics Are Dope.
So that was actually that's the website version that Kix runs. So that was a written article that I did.
That's what you wrote.
So that was the one where I wrote it, and I talked basically about just why 2022 was Catwoman's best year in general, and I talked about the fact that you could see it before Barr changed her video camera, but the Ed Brubaker run got the omnibus, which a lot of people had looked at as being one of the best ones. Talked about the Zoe Kravitz portrayal, which a lot of people were looking at very fondly. Talked about the Rom V run that was going on. That was really kind of bringing the character in a new direction, but ultimately it was Lonely City that was doing that.
Yeah.
So that's what the article was about, like I said. And then when it was time for FOC and Cliff was trying to push books, my article was what he chose to help do it. So
nice.
You're welcome, Cliff. But yeah, so real quick, my last three swan songs by W. Maxwell Prince and a rotating cast of artists. So this is a series that's going on right now where each issue is a standalone story, and it's a swan song. It's the end of a certain type. So each issue is the end of, and then it's a different thing. So this one is the end of the world. And so he tells a post-apocalyptic story in this particular one with, in this issue, Martin Simmons, who you may know from A Million Covers and The Department of Truth. And it's this beautiful story of a son trying to find some kind of solace for his dying mother in her last moments. All the while, there's this crazy apocalyptic world happening out there, and it's W. Maxwell Prince, so you get kind of nuttiness. And then the next issue was the end of a marriage, and it was the telling. It's a couple that's at the table finalizing a divorce, and it's sort of them telling from each of their own perspectives the story of their relationship, how it went through and how it ended. And again, with a kind of W. Maxwell Prince zany ending. This one has been excellent. I really liked Haha that he did before, where it was standalone anthology stories, sad stories about clowns. This one is
the Ice Cream Man author?
Yep. This is same author, and then a rotating. So Felipe Andrade, who did Many Deaths of Layla Starr, he was the artist on issue 3. And, so it's really, really cool. Really, really fun series there. Number 2, technically it was from last year, but it's Do a Powerbomb. I can't have a year go by without praising a Daniel Warren Johnson book. Everybody knows that book is amazing. I'm just going to, continue to say that. But my last one, and probably number 1 book of the year, and Rick Ray, if you're still watching it, you called it, 20th Century Men by Dennis Camp, with art by S. Morian or Stepan Morian. This is dense. This is a heavy book about the proxy war in Afghanistan between the US and the Soviet Union. And it's a story about sort of that time in that area, but it recasts it also as the US and the Soviet Union not just being world superpowers, but basically their heads are superhumans in their own state. And so it flashes back and forth between American foreign policy, Soviet foreign policy, and the Afghan people who are just sort of caught in the crossfire in between. And it's excellent. And also, I'm going to use this as an excuse to show off some original art, because this was
you and your original art.
Yes, me and my original art.
Yeah, this is why his family's struggling for food.
So,
whoa!
Wow!
Blame you for getting that. That's amazing.
The cross hatching on this page is just oh wait, no, the other way.
Oh, that cross hatching, yeah. And this is from 20th Century Men.
20th Century Men.
Has that been collected?
Yep, it's in a trade now. It was just a 6-issue miniseries, and then, but this artwork,
wow,
is astounding. And again, just the story is dense, it's touching, it's personal, and it's if more people had read this story, this would, I think, absolutely be like one of the biggest choices for like books of the year. It's a great book.
You know, people are now aiming to rob you at this very moment. You know, right?
I'll just give them Cycle Cleveland's address.
Like,
So
Ilan has already killed you. He wants to be in the wheel.
Here's my Black Cat Omnibus overview. Thank you, James. Oh, and Lionheart's here.
What's up, Lionheart? Good to see you again.
And the chat is having a lot of fun. Oh, yeah. Why you should read Black Cat. Thank you. Elon, good night, everyone. Don't push your sister down any stairs this week, Bar. Bunk, don't sneak any olives into your wife's food. That sounds like it's I do have another stream at 8. I gotta recharge my computer.
I was gonna say, you might as well just keep this one going, just like, just Iron Man it. Just have Taylor join in on this one.
You're insane. Wow.
And then what's after that stream? What's Tracy up to? Just invite her onto it.
Jessica and I are doing something tomorrow at 1 about Superman, so don't forget that.
So,
Bar, you want to go through your last few books?
Yeah, so I have one last book left.
Okay.
And I didn't know if this is a stream for books that we read this year that we enjoyed, or books that came out this year.
It's a stream for whatever you want it to be.
Whatever you want to do.
So Wonder Woman, Victoria.
Good choice.
This book I get for so long, but because of financial reasons, I had to stop for a while to buy comics. So, but this was on the top of my whenever I'll be able to. First of all, the art is like the main reason. Like, this art is insane in this series. Like,
yeah, the artistry is amazing.
This is crazy. And honestly, after reading this series, I think they should make this the canon Wonder Woman backstory. Yeah. Like how the Amazons were created. I think this must be like the best Amazons origin that I've ever read. I think this gave them it basically borrowed a lot from Jimenez, of course. George Perez. Jimenez is one of the artists here, Phil Jimenez. And it obviously borrowed a lot from George Perez and what he set out to be, the tone for Wonder Woman and the Amazons, and obviously the more feminist kind of like storytelling for them. And yeah, this art is like, it took me forever to read this book just because every page I had to stare at it for like 10 minutes because there's so much happening in every panel. You kind of just need to, you feel that you need to appreciate every little detail, or else you're doing a disservice to this book in a way.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So it's
I
really
haven't read it, but I agree.
it's not a quick read. If you really, it's a book to read and appreciate. And I think that all the details do add a lot to the story, in my opinion. And I think it adds a lot to the reading experience of the series. So yeah, I strongly recommend, even if you don't know anything about Wonder Woman, you don't need to know anything about Wonder Woman, her history, the Amazons. You can go into this completely blind, and if this does not make you want to read more Wonder Woman after this, I do not know what will make you do that, because I think this is really such a great way. I felt like it made me fall in love with the Wonder Woman world all over again.
Yeah, that was well said, especially about how you want to appreciate the art, or it feels like you're not giving it enough credit. It shouldn't be rushed through. Yeah, you kind of have to soak it up and just appreciate it for what it is, because every page by the three different artists, while it's a different style, it's extremely lush. It's very gorgeous and beautiful art. And the Kelly Sue DeConnick telling of the story is really well depicted. And I'm glad you chose that, because that, I mean, I'll pick up on it as I go through my Goodreads, but yeah, that definitely deserves consideration for me too, for a book of the year.
Yeah.
It is really remarkable.
So really, whoever hasn't read this book, if you really love just beautiful art that you can stare at, or you just looking for a good Wonder Woman or Amazon's series to start on, even if you don't know anything, I think this is a fantastic book to read.
Awesome. Psycho Cleveland, the topic tonight with the minister and I is recent reads, what we've read recently, and that will be my stacks of shame. So I'll be going through what I read on my stacks of shame. You can find BunkMasta's link in my description. I'll put bars. Is it Blue Sky or Twitter that I have of yours? Is it Twitter that you?
I think you have Twitter, yeah.
Okay, I'll put. If you want to send me your Blue Sky link, I can put that in there too.
Twitter, because I'm not very active on Blue Sky.
Oh, okay. So bar on where did you get G Willow Wilson?
On Blue Sky, yeah.
On Blue Sky, okay.
Creators on Blue Sky and stuff.
Okay. So yes, their information will be in my description. Thank you to both my co-hosts for being on today. This was a ton of fun. Thank you to the chat. You guys were great. It was a lot of fun. I'm sorry I didn't get to everyone, but you guys were all active participants that we had a lot of fun with. Peace and love to whoever watches us afterwards and makes it through freaking almost 4 hours of a stream. And we didn't even give anything away. But and my stuff is down below. Please like, subscribe, comment. Anything else?
I think you covered everything.
I've been BunkMasta B. You all have been amazing. We'll catch you next time.
Wow,
Right on, man.
Such a radio like my show, kind of like, wow, that was great.
Peace and love, and I will use my theme song to play us out. Thank you to everyone.